Welcome to This Week in Laker Football, your exclusive weekly look into the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team all season long on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined alongside head coach Zach Hilbers as always. Your team coming up a couple of tough losses on the road going through Oakland County, coming back this week against Southfield A&T. Let's jump into particular last week on the road at Rochester Adams. Impressive showing, at least early on, from the defense. What did you like out of the guys, particularly in those first 24 minutes, bringing a tie to halftime?
Really, I guess how much they improved from week 2 to week 3. We didn't do a lot of things right, or at least we made a lot of mistakes week 2. And week 3, we were a lot better. Like, we executed our game plan, did a lot of things that gave us a good chance to win. Unfortunately, we made enough mistakes and kind of got it in our own way, and just enough where we were in a really close game with a good team and let their players at the end make a few winning plays and make the difference.
What does that really say about this OAA Red outlook for the season? Because you went up against a team in Rochester Adams that looked on paper like they may take a step back this season. A lot of players that had graduated, they had a lot of upperclassmen coming in, but they really showed out on Friday night in that home game.
I actually didn't think they were going to take a step down. I mean, their quarterback, who was a sophomore last year, I thought was on the cusp of taking the next step, and he clearly has. He's going to be a really good player, not only this year, but the next as well. So we knew it was going to be a challenge, and, to be honest, we made enough mistakes in the first half where we shouldn't have been tied 0-0 at halftime. We probably could have been up, 10-0, 14-0. And maybe it's a little bit of a different game. You don't let them play their game, and in the close game in the fourth quarter, kind of, play at their own style, at their own pace. We, get up earlier on them. We might have a chance to speed them up a little bit, but we never quite were able to do that.
Lakers losing last week on the road at Rochester Adams, 14-21. The week before that, 13-28. At Birmingham Groves. And this was really, like you said, Rhino Waters last week was fantastic. Over 100 yards passing in the air, 80 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Really was that defense's first time seeing an experienced quarterback that really had command of his offense. What lessons did they learn despite a great first half, having those challenges from a quarterback and that offense that's got that experience in half number 2?
I mean, I guess what we can really take from him is that he's a pretty resilient kid. We really held them down, did a great job in the first half, and I showed the kids in film. In a lot of ways, I think he willed his team to win at a higher level than we did on our side. So, partially give him credit for doing that, but also kind of accept the challenge that, you just saw someone kind of wanted a little bit more than you, and that's can be disheartening. So, if we want to get to that level, we got to step it up.
We talked about this before the first game of the year, and really when we were previewing your entire schedule for this year. Physicality was something you emphasized as being a key factor in every single game, and that was certainly evident these last 2 weeks. How have you adjusted to that? What conversations is your team having about what's to come ahead with a really tough schedule the rest of the way, especially in the trenches?
Well, like I said at the start, I do think week 3 was definitely better than week 2. We were in it with a really good chance to beat a good team on the road. It just didn't happen. So we got to, I guess, use that to fuel us to get better still, but also understand that if you look at a pure trajectory, we definitely got better. We just have to continue to get better, obviously, to get where we want to be. And you're right. It's going to be, a lot of that's going to be to continuing to play sound physical football.
A lot of games this season on the road for the Lakers. They come home this week at 7 o'clock to take on Southfield A&T in the homecoming game. Then it's right back on the road, Northern Oakland County again against Clarkston before a couple games back at the Swamp to round out the regular season home schedule. And Coach, back to your team on the offensive side this week, a little bit more balance. We saw the passing game really start to get involved. And this 2-quarterback system, that can be a benefit in some ways with the versatility, but in the others, it can be a little bit of a drawback trying to form that chemistry. What did you see develop that you liked this week from the offense, particularly in that passing game?
Well, I guess, obviously, because we are implementing it, I don't think there's too much in regards of a chemistry, because we do practice together all week. What you see in a game when you split roles like that, you might kind of feel that way. But these guys have been throwing together and playing together all summer and all week to begin with. So we like the versatility that having the 2 guys out there can do, because they both are really talented kids that bring different things to the table. We definitely were better on throwing the ball week 3 than we were week 2, and that gave us some chances. We really just got to finish drives when it comes down to it.
key takeaway at the end of that game was those final couple of drives. Like you said, it seemed like Rochester Adams just kind of took command and willed themselves to the finish. What lessons does your team, especially those younger guys coming up in the bigger roles, take out of that game and seeing just how important things like time management, physicality, and executing your sets can really be against a team like Adams?
Well, you can talk about finishing drives as a team and as an offense, because I think we need to do it, but when somebody does it to you, you get a first-hand view of what it looks like. So that was kind of our focus, like giving them a ton of credit, because they finished the most important drive of the game for them. The only time they were leading was with 30 seconds left, but that's when you want to lead.
Zach Hilber's with me on This Week in Laker Football. The Lakers going back home this week at the Swamp, 7 o'clock kickoff against Southfield A&T. We'll have that for you right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. So they look to bounce back and come out of this week even 500 at 2-2. Coach, your final takeaways from that game on the road at Rochester Adams, some positives and negatives.
The positives, like I said, they're a really good team, and we were good enough to beat them. And the negative is obviously that we didn't beat them. So you got to take like what gave us a chance in that game and hold on to that, and like really take pride in fixing what caused us to lose. Because as soon as we do that, I think we'll figure some things out and start getting the results we want.
Plenty more football season ahead for the Lakers as they come back home this week against Southfield A&T, and then back into the OAA Red for a few weeks, going on the road, back for a couple games, and back out on the road to close out the 2024 season. We'll take a break on This Week in Laker Football. On the other side, Coach Hilbers and I will preview this week's homecoming football game at home against Southfield A&T. It's This Week in Laker Football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Live, local, social. Dive into your community with the Splash Live. Coverage of events and exciting developments in the greater West Bloomfield area. Join Tyler Keefe, Kevin McIntosh, and the rest of our staff live out on the street or in our studio. Weekdays live on Comcast Channel 15 or on AT&T at Channel 99. Watch us online too on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, on YouTube at Civic Center TV, or on our website, civiccentertv.com.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Keefe and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Welcome back to This Week in Laker Football, your exclusive weekly look into the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team all throughout the season. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined as always by head coach Zach Hilbers. Big game coming up for the Lakers this week, back at home, and it's a game that's always kind of marked on the calendar for these players every year, going up against Southfield A&T. Let's just start with that. What does this matchup mean to the team in terms of those relationships they've built over the years?
Yeah, a lot of our guys played at some point youth football together with a lot of their guys, so there's always a lot of emotion, there's always a lot of pride at stake, and what I just finished telling them is like, you're always going to get their best shot. Like, I don't care what they look like, what their seasons look like, you're always going to get their best shot.
It's a bit of a historical lesson, too, because you're coming in. It's the first time you've seen the Warriors since that semifinal game last fall. A little bit of heartbreak, maybe a little bit of revenge on the mind coming into this week?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, they had a lot of seniors last year. It's a new coaching staff, but it's the same colors and the same jerseys, and they're still who, took away what we had last year and what we really wanted. So we got to take some sort of pride in that and really focus on getting the job done.
Yeah, maybe a new coaching staff with Coach Marshall having moved on to Birmingham Brother Rice, but Coach McKenzie comes in, a lot of football experience himself, a Super Bowl winner as a football player in the NFL. What does the Warriors team look like in 2024 from your first evaluation?
Well, they are pretty strong on the offensive, defensive line, which I guess isn't surprising. They had some good players there last year that returned, and that's where Coach McKenzie's, I guess, expertise is. And they're always going to have some good team speed. We know that. From that point forward, I really just think we're more inwardly focused on doing what we have to do to keep getting better and get the results we want.
Coming into this week, you're going up against a team, same record, 1-2 overall, a little bit of a different story. They've really struggled on the offensive end, but in some ways, throughout these 3 weeks, you've seen those shows of brilliance. So how do you keep your team focused then on not taking their foot off the gas, seeing the results from those first 3 games and knowing the kind of talent you have in all 3 phases?
Well, I guess our results so far don't let us take our foot off the gas. You know, you can think whatever you want, but we're 1-2 and they're 1-2, and if we don't get the job done, we're in a pretty big hole. So it's really like the onus is on us to like turn this thing around and get it figured out. And like I said, you are going to get their best shot.
Zach Hilber's with me, head coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers. Here on This Week in Laker Football, we'll have full coverage of the game. Homecoming Friday night at West Bloomfield High School, 7 o'clock kickoff right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. You talk about that Warriors team, a lot of players moving on, having graduated last year, but they're bringing back some of those really key guys that had great games late in playoff time, especially on the defensive side. Kenneth Brooks, one of those key players, another one in Jordan Melton. Those linebackers can really cause some problems, even for a strong front like you have in West Bloomfield. So how do you match up with that coming into this week, especially with the lessons you've learned from the physicality of Groves and Adams?
Well, Zaya, you got to take them out of their game. I think, you know, Groves and Adams both have really good linebackers themselves that'll come up and hit you when you let them. So we really kind of keyed them and made sure they weren't going to disrupt our game too much. In a lot of ways, we did a good job. Just all it took was a few plays here and there, and at least last week where Adams' middle linebacker could really change a drive with a big play. So it's really just about continuing the focus and making sure that we don't have those 1 or 2 plays that make a difference.
As you've said, as you've evaluated your team's performance last week and as we've previewed this week's game with Southfield A&T, how important are these 48 minutes in focusing in on the rest of the season with a really tough OAA Red schedule coming up over the next several weeks?
Yeah, I mean, with the OAA Red schedule and the crossovers and finishing with Roseville, who's won a few games themselves, you know, it's not getting easier. We know it's going to be a challenge no matter what. So yeah, I would say it's imperative that we get out and at least have a good showing, protect our home turf and our home field.
Other than, of course, picking up a win, more points than the other team on Friday night, what are some of the other keys you're hoping to take away from and be celebrating in that locker room come the end of those 48 minutes on Friday?
I guess just to go back from recapping last week, it's just finishing drives as the offense and getting off the field as the defense. We had several times where we did, 98% of the job correctly, but the 2% would kill us. And maybe that's a little metaphorical and hyperbolical, but the point still stands. Like, we were so close, and sometimes the margins between winning and losing are razor thin, and we just got to get on the other side of that razor.
Juan Esper, another player coming into this week from Southfield A&T. You'll hear that name a lot on Friday night, a 500-yard receiver. We talked about that linebacker talent. On the defensive side, this game's going to be won in all 3 phases with the Lakers executing on high command Friday night. Coach, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
We thank you also for tuning in to This Week in Laker Football. Invite you onto our live broadcast Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, a little bit of pregame before that, and of course you'll see us right here on This Week in Laker Football. In the meantime, head on over to civiccentertv.com/Lakersports and follow us across social media for more coverage of West Bloomfield football all season long. For the entire athletic department at West Bloomfield High School and our team at Civic Center TV, I want to thank you for tuning in to This Week in Laker Football.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
After a brief tour across Oakland County, the West Bloomfield Lakers are back at home on homecoming night. Hello and welcome to another exhilarating evening of West Bloomfield Laker football alongside Matt Catoni. I'm Tyler Kieft. The Lakers coming in 1-2 tonight, as are the Southfield A&T Warriors. And Matt, it's after a couple of treacherous weeks for the Lakers, tough, physical, close games that ultimately didn't go their way.
Yeah, last week was especially tough because, like Coach Hilbert said, it was right there for the taking for them. they just kind of made a few mistakes that just allowed Rochester Adams to come away with the game. And really a huge, huge thing for them was not making those stops on third down. And that's going to be something interesting that we see here today. Can they hold on to the ball, and can they make those stops on third down?
Matt and I in the studio, but there's a third member of our team as well on this special evening at West Bloomfield High School, and that is Kevin McIntosh down on the field with us live at the Swamp. Kevin.
Thank you, Tyler. Friday, September 20th, 2024 marks the homecoming for West Bloomfield High School. The stadium is filled. The theme is the blackout. They're going back to black. The students and everyone in the stands wearing black, and today we welcome Southfield A&T Warriors to the Swamp. We are looking to bounce back from a two-game road trip losing streak, I should say, and we're looking to get the job done today. Coach Hilber's had a lot of hope for the team and saying we haven't lost here on this field, and we're looking to keep that streak going.
Yeah, the Lakers picking up a big win in week 1 at West Bloomfield High School against Chippewa Valley. And tonight's a special night, too, because homecoming, of course, you bring a lot of alums back to the crowd. You bring a lot of alums back to watch this game and enjoy football at WB. And the players and the students celebrating, too. But it really does also bring back that football culture, and maybe a good thing on the sidelines for the Lakers as they refocus after those last 2 weeks.
Yeah, starting off 1-2 certainly is not something that the Lakers are accustomed to as of late. And, you know, compared to last season, Southfield A&T and the Lakers are in much different situations than they were last year at this time. So today, it's really important that the Lakers, you know, like you said, reestablish that culture, reestablish that tradition, get things going, get the ball rolling on offense, and really just get some momentum going as they start OAA play.
A special night on homecoming for West Bloomfield High School, but also a really special night for both of these teams, Matt, because when you have a matchup between West Bloomfield and Southfield A&T, there's a lot of that personal football history there. These kids, they've grown up together, they've grown in the game together, and now they get to be on the biggest stage in the state of Michigan, in the OAA Red Division, in this rivalry game, in this crosstown matchup between West Bloomfield and Southfield. And this is always one of those matchups that's circled on everybody's calendar every year, regardless of what the records are when this comes up.
Yeah, and especially with that last matchup to end the season last year, state semifinals, and as Coach Hilber's put it in, as we just saw, they took what we wanted, and then eventually they went on to win the state championship. So it's going to be interesting today. You know, a lot of their experience is in the trenches, so it's going to be interesting to see if there's a little chatter back and forth amongst the guys in the trenches that have some experience. Josh Tate, you know, coming back after last year at running back. It's going to be interesting to see if those guys play with a little bit, you know, more intensity, trying to get revenge for last season.
Yeah, a lot of those key players from Southfield A&T's 2023 Division I state championship team that defeated the Belleville Tigers at Ford Field, not returning tonight. Many of them have graduated. For the West Bloomfield Lakers, many of their key players still a factor tonight, including, as you said, that man Josh Tate, who's been on an absolute tear for the Lakers in the rushing game so far this season. 2 out of his first 3 games have been 100-yard performances, or near 100 yards. He had 93 yards just a week ago, and 106 yards last week, and 93 week 1 against Clinton Township. Chippewa Valley leads the team in individual touchdowns with 3. And Matt, anytime you're at 5.88 yards per carry, nearly 6 yards every time he touched the ball as a running back, you know you're having a pretty darn good season.
Yeah, last year we didn't necessarily see him in a feature role. We saw him get, you know, some carries here and there, but he was kind of, you know, blocking. And we've all heard the phrase before, no block, no rock. This year, you know, it's kind of paying forward, and he's getting the rock, and he is paying it forward to the coaching staff, and he's just been phenomenal to start the year, and he's really been someone that the offense can lean on.
You made a really great point a couple of moments ago, talking about winning these games in the trenches. Such a key for the Lakers, and it's really been where they've been outmatched late in those critical moments the last 2 weeks against Groves and Rochester Adams. Somebody, however, who has been a really tough matchup for every team in these first 3 weeks for the Lakers has been Jeremiah Benson on that defensive line. Where, hey, look, everyone was looking for that heir apparent to Brandon Davis Swain, the all-time leader in career sacks in MHSAA football history. And hey, look at Jeremiah Benson, 4 in the first 3 weeks for the West Bloomfield Lakers, and he's a pretty big kid to match up against for any other team. 6'3", 255 pounds, and he came into the season really wanting to step into that leadership role, and hey, no better way to lead than to show it on the field through each and every one of these 48 minutes, Matt.
Yeah, and really the biggest thing that stands out is the size, like you mentioned, 6'3", 225, but he has that quickness and just the motor is just impressive, that how he doesn't give up on plays and how he's able to finish plays in the pocket and disrupt plays just almost off the snap. It's very impressive.
What's also been impressive for the Lakers, of course, that rushing game, but we haven't seen a lot from the passing game. Someone, however, that has been getting involved a lot this season for the Lakers in the air so far has been Elijah Durham. And, big shoes to fill coming in from last season with the way he performed, but already averaging 18 yards per reception through these first 3 weeks. Last year, led the team in individual touchdowns, 11 receiving touchdowns last season. That's the best single season in school history, and this year he wanted to focus more on getting those yards after catch, not just those big individual plays.
Yeah, it's really been interesting to see how he's been there. They, like you mentioned, they haven't really been able to get anything going in the pass game, but when they have, it's either not necessarily a deep shot for him, but we saw in week 2 those like slant curls over the middle about 10-15 yards down the field. He's kind of developing his game to where he's not necessarily just a deep threat, but also a possession receiver.
West Bloomfield Lakers taking on Southfield A&T on homecoming night tonight at West Bloomfield High School. Already a raucous crowd at WB as they celebrate this special night in our community. Homecoming weekend here in West Bloomfield. The parade earlier on today, just as we led up to this event. And that makes this a little bit more special when you have a few home games and each one of them's kind of that big special occasion.
Yeah, and really, like we've mentioned before, it being homecoming is just all the more meaningful tonight. They've been struggling, and they're playing a team that, like we mentioned, they took what they wanted last year. They're kind of on their heels for their season as well. What better way to get revenge? It's homecoming at your house. Kind of, while they're down, kick them while they're down, and take a step forward yourself this season.
Yeah, for both these teams, an identity game tonight. This is going to define the next portion of their season, because for West Bloomfield, it doesn't get any easier from here. The next 3 games on the road next week in Clarkston, come back for a couple of games against 2 very tough teams out of the red in Lake Orion and in Oxford.
Yeah, but it's really crucial that they win tonight, especially because a lot of these teams play each other this week. We have Clarkston playing Rochester Adams being undefeated, Clarkston 2-1. Clarkston pulls off the win. Rochester Adams is no longer undefeated and sitting atop the OAA Red completely uncontested, and that kind of gives the Lakers a little bit of wiggle room to get back in the door.
Yeah, the homecoming night here at West Bloomfield High School, the hometown heroes of the Lakers now seeing their familiar foes, Southfield A&T, take the field, and here they are in the tunnel, walking on in, ready to kick off this homecoming night as you hear Stoney from 97.1 The Ticket, our beloved PA announcer at the Swamp in the background. Lakers in their black uniforms tonight with those white numbers. As Kevin McIntosh from our team said earlier on, it is a blackout at West Bloomfield High School as this team looks to bounce back, hit hard, and show what they're made of. Here they are! The West Bloomfield Lakers back at home for the second of 4 home games in 2024. Bringing the hammer, coming in is 73, Travis Robertson for West Bloomfield as the Lakers look to bring the hammer down on Southfield A&T. The crowd giving their best cheers for the Lakers tonight as they have a big test ahead of them coming in with Southfield A&T. This is a game that always gets a lot of attention on it, and for West Bloomfield, for Southfield A&T, an identity game that really tells not only their own team, but the entire MHSAA what these 2 storied programs are made of.
Yeah, really, Southfield A&T has been struggling much more than they're accustomed to the past few years. They come out here today, they get a win, or even just, fight hard, and it's a close contested game. They can show we're not done, and Lakers, same applies to them.
Now we'll take a pause as the Laker Express honors our nation with the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, bright stripes and bright stars through
The award-winning Laker Express, honoring our nation with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner at the 50-yard line on homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School. As you see both teams prepared to take the field. Matt, as you're looking at this game tonight for West Bloomfield, the three things you want to see out of them the most to really bring some encouragement for the tough weeks ahead in the red.
Well, one, limit the mistakes. We saw Coach Hilbers talk about that. No turnovers, no egregious penalties. To get the passing game going, we've seen that Josh Tate can obviously handle the ball. Same with Obi Duru and Cam Flowers. Get a little bit of life going in the pass game. And then as for the defensive front, kind of establish some dominance. Get to the quarterback today. Show that you can rush the passer a little bit better than you have been.
As you see, Southfield A&T, the opposition coming in their white uniforms with that dark navy blue trim and a little bit of a red stroke around their numbers on their uniforms. It's a younger team coming in against these West Bloomfield Lakers, but Lakers not going to have any easy competition against any team in the Oakland Activities Association. West Bloomfield, of course, in the OAA Red, and Southfield A&T, the defending Division I state champions in the OAA White Division. Both of these teams coming in 1-2 on the season, looking to make a big push forward, get back to 500, and set the tone for the second half of this early portion of the season at West Bloomfield High School. It's the Lakers, it's Southfield A&T, it's homecoming night. The Lakers will receive the ball to begin this ball game. Southfield A&T will kick this ball off from the middle hash of the 40-yard line. The Lakers have a couple of big weapons back for them receiving kicks this season. Elijah Durham averaging a massive number of yards. He's only had a couple of returns, but averaging 42 yards per kickoff return. And Jaden Allis, who's received most of these returns so far, still pretty good himself, 27.67 yards per return. So, as Southfield A&T gets ready to kick this ball off, put 48 minutes up on the game clock, 12 minutes in this first quarter as they whistle this game active, and Southfield A&T launches the ball from the 40-yard line. Not much of a launch, a high-flying ball to the 40-yard line and tackle back at the 45. The Lakers going to have great field position to kick this one off tonight, Matt.
Yeah, really surprised you didn't call for the fair catch right there. Just, very high kick, trying to limit what we saw last week from the Lakers with Elijah Durham and Jaden Allos with those returns. But just really phenomenal job not to fumble that right there, because that coverage team by Southfield A&T flew down there.
One of the up men, Malcolm Gibson, receiving that kickoff, getting right under it. The linebacker for West Bloomfield High School still to start this drive off on the 35-yard line, just on the right hash. Lakers coming out with a bunch formation. One man in the backfield is Josh Tate. Man in motion is Duru. Handoff on the sweep. Right side, gets out to the 40, out to the 45. They'll get right up to the line to gain. A great push on that first offensive play for Obi Duru.
Yeah, that was just a very well-designed play right there by the Lakers. We mentioned of Josh Tate's blocking prowess last season. Right there, we see them get Obi Duru in motion and use Josh Tate as a lead blocker, and just a phenomenal play design right there by the Lakers.
Lakers will move the chains there. Duru getting 10 on that first play, averaging 5 yards per carry. These Laker running backs been critical so far this season. So, same exact formation now at the 45-yard line. Jackson takes the snap, hands it off to Tate. Now here he goes. Josh Tate barreling forward for 9.
Yeah, just a phenomenal job by the Lakers offensive line so far, just establishing themselves to start the game and just moving people, getting downfield, and that's what you love to see by your offensive line to start the game.
Caleb Parnell beat on that left side of the line, and Josh Tate sees out of his peripheral vision that blown block and makes a quick shift out to the side he was going to anyway on that weak side. Second down, it's a play-action pass outside the Obi Duru up to the 40-yard line and advances forward to the 38 for a first down.
Yeah, just, again, very good play design right there. Easy throw. Get the offense a little bit of chemistry right there. Just a nice, easy throw for Bo Jackson. Get a little momentum going. Easy, nice, simple play to pick up the first down.
But the Lakers have been running on the majority of their offensive plays so far in 2024. Play action could be a critical portion of this offense going forward. Maybe perhaps more of an adjustment by Ken Rise, a longtime offensive coordinator now with his third head coach in Zach Hilbers. First down for the Lakers with 10.5 to play in the first quarter. Handoff, James breaks free down to the 20, on his feet, inside the 10 and in the end zone. Touchdown, WB.
And then you see the shrug right there at the edge. I mean, a phenomenal play right there for James. We saw his first career touchdown week 1. I mean, the first one got called back, and we saw the intensity on the next run, ensuring that he was going to get that first touchdown back. And just right there, he got it, and he was off to the races. Nobody was catching him. You see him look back. Just a phenomenal job by James right there, and a pleasant emergence on offense to start the year.
Yeah, beats one blocker, beats two blockers as he gets out there, and these were all set up by these rushing plays. 3 out of the 5 plays that the Lakers ran there, and here's the big key one. James gets out into the boundary, beats one, beats two, and gets into the end zone. Now we've got Mr. Consistent, Justin Ward, out for the extra point. The Lakers up 6-0. High snap, good hold, and a good kick. It is up, and it is through. 10 for 10 on extra points is Justin Ward as the Lakers start off this game hot in less than 2 minutes, up 7-zip.
Yeah, and again, it looked like almost the exact same play that they had given to Obi Duru earlier in the drive. This time, the run play going to James. Looks like the Lakers may be trying to take advantage of teams keying in on Tate due to his success so far to start the year, and also taking advantage of Tate's blocking ability.
And look, the Lakers haven't won the last 2 weeks. Sometimes that sets in some panic for the fan base, maybe even for a young player on this team. And there's a lot of young players in key positions here. But when you're able to come out, execute those design plays, those scripted series, it can have a big impact on the rest of the game. The Lakers executing on that, a minute 40 on that first drive for the Lakers as they move from their own 35 into the end zone to go up 7-0. Now it's the test for the Southfield A&T Warriors out of the OAA White as Justin Ward prepares to kick this one off from the Laker 40-yard line at the middle hash. As the officials make their way to the sideline and prepare to whistle this active, Justin Ward will take a step back to the 30-yard line and prepare to approach this kickoff. A generational kicker for the Lakers is Justin Ward, just like his brother Jake, a champion back in 2020 with that Donovan Edwards, Dylan Tatum, Ron Bellamy coach team at Ford Field. Booming kick will land 3 yards in the end zone, a touchback, and Southfield A&T will get their first chance to see some offensive action tonight. New quarterback, a lot of new key players, but that offensive line bringing some experience, that will be key for them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing that you can have is an experienced offensive line, and the biggest beneficiary of that is going to be their quarterback. And really, it's going to be crucial to have that experienced offensive line as he's trying to replace really one of the best quarterbacks that I've ever seen in this conference.
Yeah, you said it off the air when we were talking about Zeke Marshall earlier on. A 3-star quarterback now at Kansas. Probably should have been a 4-star. And, man, he was unbelievable in that championship ball game against Belleville, a team that people thought maybe Southfield A&T will make it competitive, but certainly not that they would win that ball game in the way that they did. And now big shoes to fill for quarterback Jeremy Porter, the junior, 6'1", 176 gunslinger for Southfield A&T. They'll start off with 2 split out to the right, 1 man to slot, 1 wide at the 20. Snapping a handoff right up the gut, breaks free, 25, down to the 30-yard line, and Timothy Garr gets the ball first for Southfield A&T and moves the chains.
Yeah, leaning on that experienced part of their team, running it up the gut to start the game, and, you know, exactly as they had hoped, they moved the sticks. And that's going to be important for the Lakers here today, that they stop the run, as that is really what that's been their biggest issue on defense to start the year.
Yeah, a guy that can really rush quite hard for the Southfield A&T team. And he's learned from a couple of really great players that were in there on that championship team, Davier Burton, Matthias Smith-Davis, a season ago, who helped Southfield A&T move that ball forward late and ultimately come out victorious in the semifinal versus these Lakers. First down, Lakers up 9:40 in the first quarter. Southfield A&T with a first down at their 30. Handoff goes to Garr again. He'll get up to about the 33-yard line where he'll meet the Lakers front and set up a second down.
Yeah, it looked like a flag might have even landed on the pile there at the end of the play. I wonder what it's going to be. My guess is it'll be a hold or something based on the spot of the flag, but let's see.
Jeremiah Benson on the tackle.
During the play, I got a 5-yard face mask on the defense. Repeat. First down.
Yeah, really physical in there, so it's quite quickly a bunch of players at the point of attack. Easy for that to happen, where you make contact with a face mask and pick up a quick penalty. That's what happened with the Lakers, and so now Southfield A&T will have another chance here on second down. The ball at the 39-yard line. Got to advance up to the 42. It'll be 2nd and 3. In the shotgun is Porter. One man in the backfield. Snapping a handoff. It's going to be a sweep. Taiwan Esper, speedy, gets out to the 41-yard line. Reaches forward. We'll see where they spot that football. He'll be really close to the line of the game.
Yeah, a good job of not allowing that that play to progress upfield anymore. I believe that's Chop Pittman right there, not giving up the edge whatsoever, really, and just drawing that play out further and further and allowing the defensive backs to come up and make that play.
An effort play by Speedy Esper on that also, that second effort to just punch it forward, but unfortunately another penalty. This time it goes in the favor of the Lakers. Now will push Southfield A&T way back. They'll be pushed all the way back to the 29-yard line, and that's the setup. A long set of yardage for them to go to advance those chains.
Good chance that might have been a hold on Chops Pittman right there.
Out of the shotgun is Jeremy Porter. Got a little bit of a pocket, throws outside, bobbled, deflected, and he'll hit the ground at the 35-yard line, incomplete.
Yeah, and some pressure off the edge almost immediately right there by the Lakers, and it looks like they are coming out hunting off the edges today.
3rd and 13 it will be, as you see Southfield A&T talking over, getting that next play call. As Taiwan Esper will come off the field in a substitution, and Keith McKenzie, son of the head coach, Keith McKenzie, in his first season at the helm, a longtime assistant at Ball State University. He also has some coaching experience in Division II at the collegiate level, and the Ball State Hall of Famer, defensive lineman at Ball State back in the day, and also played in the NFL 8 seasons in the league, including a 1996 Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. 8:53 to go in the first. Lakers up 7-0. Porter out of the shotgun. Handoff for Southfield A&T up to the 30-yard line. Advances forward to the 33. They'll get about a 4th and 10, right back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, good job by the Lakers defense right there, especially the linebackers, filling those gaps. Yeah, they got about 3 or 4 yards right there, but not allowing it to get past the second level and setting up a 3rd and long right here.
Melton, the ball carrier, and ultimately taken down by Vegas Say, the Laker linebacker, a transfer from Birmingham, from Brother Rice, where Aaron Marshall, the former head coach of Southfield A&T, took over at his alma mater after a championship with the Warriors a season ago. 8:10 to go in the first quarter. Porter in the shotgun with 3 split out wide left for Southfield A&T. Lakers show blitz. Porter rolls outside to the 30-yard line, advances forward, 35, 40, near the line of game, pushing, and we got a scrum. Looks like the Lakers barely beat it out, but they're going to give him a nice, healthy spot there and move the chains. Effort play for that quarterback on 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal job right there by Porter to pick that up. And I mean, an even better job by the left tackle on that play to stuff Chops Pittman. But, I mean, to have the wherewithal that Porter had right there to tuck the ball and pick that up, it was very impressive right there. He was almost floating in the backfield.
Yeah, turns a 3rd and long into a 1st down and erases that penalty that took away an impressive 1st down just a few plays ago. You see Bo Jackson for the Lakers warming up on the sideline after a very quick first offensive drive, and alongside one of his linemen there as well, Jay Strayhorn. Roll out to the left side, and nothing much of a gain there for Southfield A&T as they go out to the same side. We usually see Jay Garden, higher Garden for the Lakers as an option. A direct snap to the quarterback. He'll get 1 yard, maybe 2. It'll spot him for 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, the Lakers' run defense so far tonight looks to be pretty stout. They're getting, showing some good presence by the linebackers. But that 3rd down right there, that's something they got to clean up, and hopefully it's not a sign of things to come here tonight.
Porter talking things over with his offensive coordinator between plays. Someone very familiar here at West Bloomfield High School, Brandon Smith, a former assistant coach in his first season on the sidelines for Southfield A&T, a champion himself on that coaching staff in 2020. Screen pass, right side, going to Esper. And he won't get much of anything, stuffed at the 42-yard line of Southfield A&T.
Yeah, it looked like it was a bubble screen, but just no blockers there really at all. And that play stood no chance whatsoever.
gets right back to the line of scrimmage as we're approaching halfway through this first period at West Bloomfield High School. Lakers 7, Southfield A&T 0. A sustained drive so far for Southfield A&T after the Lakers took just 1 minute and 40 seconds to score on their first drive of the ball game.
It's going to be important right here, to not let him really escape the pocket. We saw last third down of him escape and just progress upfield fairly easily. Can't get too obsessed with getting upfield as a pass rusher here.
3 split out to the strong side left for Southfield A&T. Porter outside the pocket, getting chased, getting slammed. Oh, baby. Jeremiah Benson with sack number 5.
Oh, my. That was just beautiful. Just a phenomenal stunt right here by Benson. I mean, just look at that, picking up a full head of steam and just, oh, my. Just poor Porter right there. I mean, just wow.
Perhaps a little bit of animosity from that semifinal game. Jeremiah Benson told me preseason he wanted to embrace that loss, turn that adversity into something special for the Lakers.
I mean, I know that's got to hurt. I mean, wow.
I'll set a 4th down, and Southfield A&T will have to settle to punt this ball off to the Lakers with 4:45 and ticking to go in the first quarter.
Oh.
High snap over his head, on the ground, hit. Lakers have it.
Oh, let's
They're
go.
on his feet. It's Shakespeare in the end zone. Touchdown, WB.
And it looked like right there that Southfield A&T's punter tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it. And, you know, so he just, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He can't find it. He can't pick it up. It falls into Lakers' hands. Shakespeare gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Now you're down 14-0.
Everybody going after that football, and ultimately it's the dual threat quarterback, the major threat safety, who gets his hands on the football and takes it to the house. Now the Lakers don't even have to go through another offensive drive. A few seconds on a punt return turns into another touchdown. The Lakers up 13-0 as Justin Ward comes out for his 11th PAT on the season.
Yeah, and that all goes back to what Coach Hilbers was saying, not making mistakes and forcing your opponents to make those mistakes. Because now here we are, 14-0, and you've only had 1 offensive possession.
As Ward splits the uprights for the 11th time out of 11 PATs this season, the Lakers now up 2 scores. 14-0, it's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Oh, how time flies when you're having fun. The Lakers already up 14-0 on Southfield A&T with 1 touchdown on offense and 1 in the special teams. Just like that, as quickly as Southfield A&T brought their drive to an end with a punt, they'll have another offensive drive on the way, this time with a little bit more ground to cover, down 2 scores, as Justin Ward prepares to kick it off on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. 4:34 to go in the first period. Line drive kick for the Lakers. Will bounce at the 4-yard line and go into the end zone for a second touchback for the second drive for Southfield A&T.
Yeah, and it's going to be huge right here for Southfield A&T to get a little momentum going on offense, especially after, you know, that high snap right there. It did seem a little bit windy earlier. I'm sure that probably played a factor in it, but now they got to get something going. Otherwise, they could fall behind 21-0 during a blackout game in the swamp.
And we saw some signs of progress and some really signs of promise for Southfield A&T on that first drive. Jeremy Porter commanding that pocket, making some pretty good decisions, getting outside the pocket, really affected the Lakers. Perhaps we'll see more of that on this second drive. And he's definitely got the weapons to make some big plays with Taiwan Esper, Brandon West, Malcolm Pryor, and many others in those weapons positions. 2 split out to the right for Southfield A&T. They'll hand it off on first down, outside of the 20-yard line, back inside the 25. and rolls forward. A nice run there for Vincent Wesley.
And I mean, it just stands out right away. I mean, look at Jeremiah Benson just at the start of the play, very nearly gets him in the backfield, and just the hustle after he misses the tackle. You can just tell, like you said, this game was circled on his schedule all offseason. He has been waiting for this day to get his revenge.
Running back Timothy Garr with the key block there to prevent Benson from getting in the backfield. And advancing Southfield A&T forward 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Warriors. Just under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Lakers up 14-0. Porter in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield and 2 split out left. Esper in motion, and then goes everybody else. False start will set the Warriors back a few yards, and we'll play 2nd down all over again.
It looked like Timothy Garr went early, forgot about the motion play. It looked like he was going to be the lead blocker there on a jet or something like that. Leaves just a split second too early. Now you're 5 yards back after a nice first down gain. What?
5 yards. It's going to be enough for a first down.
As they correct the penalty or perhaps add a second one on, as they're going to move the chains forward and roll the clock. So we'll see where that ultimately places Southfield A&T as they begin this next play. It'll put them up at their 31-yard line. 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Lakers up 14 after an early score and then an early special teams score on the muffed punt. Shotgun snap to Porter, hands off, delayed, and up to the 33-yard line. Wesley again with the ball as it drops out after he was called down.
Yeah, the West Bloomfield linebackers are doing a phenomenal job here tonight. I mean, you see Chops Pittman hold his ground, hold his water, and just this Lakers linebacker core so far tonight is not allowing these runs to get past the second level.
Pittman ultimately assisting the ultimate tackler in Vegas Say. A gain of about 2 on first down for Southfield A&T. They'll sub a couple of players out in Timothy Garr and Taiwan Esper. Lakers D-line coach Eddie Wilson has to be happy so far with the Lakers on homecoming night. A class of 2015 graduate from West Bloomfield High School. Out of the shotgun, Porter looking to his left, up the field to the 40-yard line. Caught, and it is popped out on a huge hit from Jamal Shakespeare. Incomplete, intended for Keith McKenzie.
I mean, it's just a phenomenal hit right there for Shakespeare, punching that ball out. It looked like he got helmet to football. Yep. Helmet to football, just a perfect form hit right there, and just forces the incompletion just after recovering the fumble for the touchdown.
Right smack between the numbers, just like they teach you in Pee Wee football. Knocks it out, makes it incomplete. Will set up a 3rd and long, 3rd and about 8 for Southfield A&T. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Your Lakers up 14-0 on homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School. 3 split out strong side for Southfield A&T. 1 to the right. Porter takes the snap, rolls outside the shotgun, gonna get pulled in, gonna get pulled down and pushed back. 2 Lakers in on that one. Jeremiah Benson and Josh Bryant, the 2 sack leaders for West Bloomfield.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to go out to his right first, but just phenomenal coverage by Edison right there. And then just like you said, the sack combination right there, and just phenomenal job by this Lakers front so far establishing their presence.
Josh Bryant pulled him in. Jeremiah Benson running off to the side there, and then ultimately said, hey, look, I can help this. Let me come and get some on that half sack there, and ultimately bring Southfield A&T way back.
Unsportsmanlike on the offense. Half the distance.
I'm maybe taking exemption to how he was slammed down at the end right there, but I mean, it's football. Play to the whistle, and so far tonight, that is one thing that you are seeing from the Lakers: intensity as they are trying to turn this ship around.
2:18 and ticking to go in the first quarter, and now a 4th and very long. The punter, 2 yards from the back of the end zone. Punt not going to go much of anywhere, as it will ultimately land and be down to the 25. The Lakers going to begin this drive in the red zone, where they have been lightning hot this season. 83% of those red zone drives have ended up in a touchdown for the Lakers so far. They haven't had a lot of opportunities on that front, but been highly effective when they get there.
And just a crucial penalty, really. Now, those 15 yards, Lakers set up at the 25 right now, could be at the 40, and also snapping into your end zone right there. Looked like a short snap right again, putting a little bit more pressure on your punter right there. Led to probably a more shoddy punt.
The senior quarterback, Bo Jackson, will come out in the shotgun with Joshua Tate just behind him. One split out wide left is Elijah Durham, and one man in motion, Cam Flowers. He'll hand it up the gut to Josh Tate. He'll be met at the line, pushed back to the line of scrimmage, and ultimately go down. Not going to get much of anything as he actually loses the ball there, and it's then picked up by Caleb Parnell.
Yeah, good job by Parnell right there to just fall right on the football. We saw that come back to bite Southfield A&T earlier when we saw their punter try and pick it up. Tate fumbles the ball. Parnell luckily falls on it, and the Lakers are set up second down here.
Yeah, collision kind of jostled the protection that Tate had on that football, and ultimately a good save by the interior lineman for West Bloomfield. Up 14 with just over a minute to play in the first quarter. West Bloomfield over Southfield A&T on homecoming night. Second down and 10, no loss, no gain on first down as they are at the 25-yard line of the Warriors. Same formation, one split out wide to either side, and Tate in the backfield. Play action. Jackson looking right inside, caught, and up for a first down to Elijah Durham. With forward progress, they may move the chains.
Yeah, a very tight window right there for Bo Jackson, but he delivers a bullet right there to Durham off the play action, and that's really something we could see the Lakers start to utilize to open up this passing game, given its struggles.
It looked like he reached initially for, but was ultimately a little bit short, so it won't be a first down as we have 30 seconds and ticking to go in the first quarter. Bunch formation for the Lakers now with Tate and the Wildcat. Direct snap, up the right side, inside the 10, pushing down to the 5. Josh Tate barrels forward and powers the Lakers inside the 5.
Yeah, and just skipping, the middleman and just getting the ball right to Josh Tate himself. He takes a direct snap. He just hits the ground running, and just a phenomenal job right there. That acceleration is just so impressive as he just bursts right through the hole and gets right to about the 3-4 yard line.
Yeah, right side of that line, just opening the floodgates and giving their running backs some space. Same formation, Wildcat, Josh Tate rolls inside, shifting forward and into the end zone once again. Touchdown, West Bloomfield.
Yeah, Josh Tate doing his best Ronnie Bell impersonation right there, getting into the end zone and just, taking over once again. Or no, Ronnie Brown.
Now Lakers up 20-0 over Southfield A&T with just under 10 seconds to go in the first period at West Bloomfield High School. Justin Ward will come in for another PAT that would put the Lakers up 3 scores in what's currently a shutout, and this is unfamiliar territory. Sorry, not unfamiliar territory for either one of these teams, both with big games in week 1 a few weeks ago. Snap, kick, the hold, and through the uprights as you see. Lakers 21, Southfield A&T 0. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Tyler Keith, Matt Catoni, Kevin McIntosh, and the whole team as the Lakers up 3 scores as we approach the end of the first period. 21-0 over Southfield A&T as Josh Tate picks up a rushing touchdown to give the Lakers a 3-score lead. That's his 4th of the season in 2024. Leads the team in offensive touchdowns. See Coach Buff talking to Elijah Durham on the sideline. Justin Ward kicks this one off. Another boomer through the back of the end zone. And another touchback for Southfield A&T.
Yeah, it has been really impressive to see him kick to start the year. Almost everyone goes right into the end zone. not giving many teams a chance at all to take anything back.
Warriors going to have probably just one, maybe two plays, depending on if they run or pass before the end of this first period. But got to kind of get those jitters out early on and try to get this young team to focus going forward after some really tough defensive attacks from West Bloomfield. Got to be something that Coach Hilbers is very happy about after a couple weeks where they just got outbodied by Rochester Adams and Birmingham Groves before that, coming out playing physical, attacking Southfield A&T early, and it is showing up on the scoreboard. So Jeremy Porter and company will come back out for another offensive drive, their third of the evening, with 7 seconds left to go in the first period. They begin at their own 25-yard line. Man in motion, there'll be a handoff for Southfield A&T. Wesley up the middle, gets up to the 25-yard line, about 5, maybe 6 yards with the reach, as it will approach the end of the first quarter. After one, West Bloomfield 21, Lakers have 21, Southfield A&T 0, Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. As you see, a focused sideline at West Bloomfield High School after one. West Bloomfield 21, Southfield A&T 0. And what we've seen from the Lakers so far is they're playing with passion in that first quarter, and it's showing in all three phases.
Yeah, and from the sound of it, showing a little bit too much passion after that last play there. And maybe, getting a little bit of revenge after what happened before that last punt there, but 15-yard penalty on the Lakers right there to kind of jumpstart the Southfield A&T offense.
That'll put the Warriors at the 49-yard line, knocking on the doorstep of plus territory, which would be the first time they've seen that tonight. As you see the Lakers faithful to swamp in their blackout. That's the theme for this year's homecoming, and man, are they enthusiastic tonight. Here they are. Listen to those cheers as they root for their Lakers on a special night at West Bloomfield High School, welcoming back alums. And if you're tuning in for the first time this season, we welcome you joining us each and every week, Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, as well as on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, and on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District. First play of the second quarter. Handoff for Southfield A&T to Esper, and he'll be stuffed by Jeremiah Benson. Won't get much of anywhere as the Lakers defensive front pushes forward and advances before that rushing game can even be set up.
Yeah, just looked like Benson pushed his guy about 3 yards into the backfield, and just like we said, playing like he has an agenda here today, and coming out and establishing himself in both the run and pass game.
Had 4 sacks coming into this football game and a sack and a half tonight. One early on, about midway through the first quarter, and the second one assisted by Josh Bryant later on. You see Laker parents coming in, cheering on their student athletes as well. Second and short for Southfield A&T. Porter out of the shotgun. Handoff, and Gar will be tripped up in the backfield. West Bloomfield not letting anything happen. Kyron Merriweather tripping up the running back.
Yeah, just a phenomenal job right there by Merriweather with a shoestring tackle. Just, gets his foot, and just a very impressive job not to let go.
At the very least, he was going to trip Timothy Garr into the hands of Jaden Allis, but man, he just swallowed up the ankles, and nice form tackle there, tripping up the running back and setting up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, this Lakers defense is not really allowing many runs past the line of scrimmage here tonight.
2 split out to the strong side right for Southfield A&T, and 2 bunched in the slot left. Porter with Garr in the backfield of the shotgun. Gets a little bit of a pocket, looking up the middle, deflected at the line, and goes right back down in front of the center and the tackle to set up a 4th down.
Yeah, the Lakers sending some heat right there with the blitz. They get a home per se, but only get a hand on the ball, very nearly intercepted by Vegas Say right there at the end. But here comes another punt after another 3rd and long that just the Lakers defense shuts down.
Just been absolutely perfect pursuit for West Bloomfield tonight on the defensive front. That D-line really causing problems for Southfield A&T. Other than that first drive where the Warriors had a little bit of momentum early on, they have been stifled ever since. A soft snap leads to a halfway decent punt, going to go down to about the 35-yard line. Fair catch, and then he is hit after the play, which will advance Elijah Durham and these Lakers even further near plus territory.
Yeah, a lot of sloppy penalties so far here tonight. Those 15-yard, unnecessary roughness, personal conduct penalties that we've talked about before in the past that can just make or break games in field position.
When you're kind of focused on the football, perhaps that's what happened for Southfield A&T. It can be tough to see that fair catch signal. Maybe that's what happened. A young team learning to focus on multiple things as you see this Laker offense get ready for yet another drive. They've been highly effective so far tonight, yet to be stopped by Southfield A&T.
I got a dead ball, personal foul. On the kick team, 15 yards. First down, West Bloomfield.
As you see that penalty assessed will bring West Bloomfield up to the 49-yard line. Very similar to what we saw happen near the end of the first period. That put Southfield A&T in a similar position. This time, however, West Bloomfield will be in plus territory on the 49 of the Warriors. 1 split wide left, 1 split wide right for the Lakers, 2 in the backfield. Duru in motion on a snap and a handoff going the other side. Cam Flowers gets outside the tackles to the 50, to the 45, and up to the 43 before he's pulled out of bounds.
Yeah, Cam Flowers, someone that last season we saw be a staple of this Lakers offense. They haven't necessarily gotten him as involved as everyone necessarily would like, but when he gets the ball, he is electric moving with it.
Over 1,000 all-purpose yards in 2023, led the team in those statistics. So far in these first 3 games, just 82 all-purpose yards, 51 of those receiving last week at Rochester Adams. Nice to see number 6 get involved here in the second period. You see the marching band. They're going to have a nice performance coming up at halftime on homecoming night, a little extended halftime for the Laker faithful. Plenty for them to cheer about on and off the football field. On the field, up 21-0 with 10:46 to go in the half. Snap to Jackson. Pass outside, caught at the 45 up to the 50 and back to the original line of scrimmage. +1 for West Bloomfield on the catch, Will Thomas.
Yeah, again, just kind of simplifying the passing game. Just a simple hitch right there. Good job. Kind of getting the timing down, getting that chemistry down, and a phenomenal job after the catch right there for Thomas and putting his shoulder down.
Sophomore defensive back, Torian Davis, making the tackle. So Lakers will get a couple of yards beyond the original line of scrimmage on first down, setting up a 2nd and long. Man in motion, snap to Jackson and hand off to Cameron Flowers. Back to the 50 and then pushed back in the negative territory again. That second-level attack for Southfield A&T now coming into the fold as Vincent Wesley pursued the ball carry.
Yeah, trying to get Cam Flowers the ball in a similar way that they did earlier this drive, but this time the Southfield A&T defense not biting, kind of, catching on to that right there and not letting him progress upfield.
Still plenty to smile about for the Laker faithful off in the stands tonight. So they'll give the Lakers that ball forward progress to the 50, so it'll set up 3rd and 11 for West Bloomfield. with the tip of the football on the midfield line at the right hash. One split out wide left for West Bloomfield and one short right with Jackson in the shotgun. Now he's getting chased, throws it up the gut, caught at the 40-yard line, advancing forward and just close to the line to gain for Brendan Jones.
Yeah, a phenomenal job by Jones right there to catch that. And I mean, just look at, he got that pass out quick. I mean, that release in that window, a phenomenal pass by Bo Jackson right there.
Caught at the 38, he'll take that up to the 40-yard line, just a yard short of the line to gain. And only a second target on the season. He last saw the ball 2 weeks ago at Birmingham Groves and makes a big play for West Bloomfield on third down. So now they're going to take the risk, go for it on fourth and short in plus territory, up 21 with 9 minutes to go in the first period. There's a timeout. We'll take a break. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram.
Continue forward as the Lakers go for it on fourth down and will move the chains. They're taking the risk at the 40-yard line, moving up to about the 35 with just under 9 minutes to go in this first half. Lakers 21, Southfield A&T 0. Matt, the rushing game continues to be highly effective for the Lakers on the offensive front.
You know, Josh Tate has been effective as is in his role as a running back. You know, now putting him in that wildcat role, that direct snap, is proving to be just as, if not more, effective than he's already been this year.
Yeah, something we haven't seen so far much of in the first 3 weeks. Been quite featured here in week number 4 at West Bloomfield High School. First down at the Southfield A&T 35. Jackson out of the shotgun. Play action, looking deep, looking long, in the end zone and deflected out of the hands of Elijah Durham.
Yeah, a phenomenal job recovering right there. It looked like Mark Reed right there on defense, but just a great job. It looked like he might have gotten a hand on it. Lakers just can't quite connect on that deep shot right there. But I love the aggressiveness right there on first down as you're already up 21-0.
Mark Reed and Frederick Moss in on that deflection in the end zone. Pretty smart for the defensive coordinator to order a double team on Elijah Durham, a big deep ball threat for the Lakers in 2023, and he's gotten a couple of those pulled in so far this season as well. His longest reception at 50 yards. Second down for the Lakers after that incompletion, 2nd and 10. Shakespeare out of the shotgun. Scrambles forward to the 30-yard line. He'll get 5 on 2nd down.
And that is certainly one aspect that you kind of have to take in mind too with putting Josh Tate in at that, role right there. Is it adds a little bit more flair to it and a little bit more trickery to it when Shakespeare comes in. It adds a little bit more element to pass for him. It adds a little bit more, susceptibility.
Versatility playing a big role for West Bloomfield on that offensive front in 2024. Paying dividends so far for Jamal Shakespeare and company in the backfield. Bunch formation on 2nd and 5. Shakespeare, he'll hand it off up the middle. Josh Tate advances forward, still on his feet, keeping it, chopping down to the 20 and down to the 19, ultimately for first down.
And again, just a physical runner. There's one way to describe Josh Tate, that would be it. He gets the ball, he keeps his legs moving, and he hates going down at first contact, and he will refuse to do so.
Move the chains again for West Bloomfield down to the 19-yard line with 7.5 and ticking to play in the first half. West Bloomfield 21, Southfield A&T 0. Durham split out wide right for the Lakers. Play action, Shakespeare up the middle, down to the 10-yard line, and advances forward for West Bloomfield. A shifty run from number 2.
Yeah, almost kind of looked like an option, but the way that Shakespeare hit the ground running, it looked like he knew that he was going to be keeping it as soon as he got it. I mean, just look at that. I mean, just a phenomenal job picking up that first down, hitting the ground running.
Not afraid to go into contact either, as the Lakers will have a 1st and goal. Shakespeare handoff, Josh Tate back to the line of scrimmage and up to the 6-yard line for a gain of 4.
Yeah, I mean, this Lakers rushing offense is formidable. With the emergence of Obi Duro so far this season, it's interesting to see how, if they can get the passing game going, how this offense can grow and really just be a dynamic threat in the OAA.
It's now a 1st and goal for West Bloomfield with 6.5 to go in the first half at West Bloomfield High School on homecoming night. Shakespeare will take it himself this time, and he'll get shifted back to the 10 and ultimately tackled at the 14-yard line. Southfield A&T reading that option out early and sending 3 linebackers after the quarterback.
Yeah, breaking that initial tackle might not have actually been a good thing in the end. It cost him a few yards in the end as, that forward progress restarts.
Couple in on that tackle for Southfield A&T, Vincent Wesley and Mark Reed, setting up a 2nd and goal for West Bloomfield at the 15. With forward progress, they'll mark him at the 10 instead after he was pushed backwards. Still 2nd and goal. Shakespeare out of the shotgun, rolling to his left. Now he's going to move inside, go after that 6-yard line, and get back to where he was a couple of plays ago for 3rd and goal.
Yeah, but we've seen this a little bit more often tonight, and I like it. Kind of moving the pocket, giving the Lakers quarterbacks the option to run, or setting up a simple pass that's just nice and easy and get the chemistry going up on offense.
Shakespeare still on the field. Has only thrown the football 5 times this season, 3 for 5, 49 yards passing, and came into this game with 26 carries and about 58 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see if the Lakers will at some point get Jamal Shakespeare involved in the passing game. We know he's capable of it. We saw some promise last year when he was a backup quarterback for Rick Nance. Shakespeare out of the shotgun with Duru in motion. Jet sweep out to the 5, inside to the 4, and that's where he'll be stuffed by the Southfield A&T Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, not able to find the end zone right there, unfortunately, but setting it up at the 2-yard line right here, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers do here now.
Yeah, you take the points, you're up 24, you go for it. It doesn't work out, you're still up 3 scores in Southfield A&T in inopportune territory with a defensive line that's been giving them a lot of problems tonight. Chavit noted that it was about this score late in the half against Chippewa Valley back in week 1. The Lakers, shortly after they began the 3rd period, put the game into the mercy rule. Still a ways to go for that. It's got to be 35 points before you get that rolling clock in the MHSAA. Lakers will ultimately go for the points. Jake Ward will have his first field goal attempt of the 2024 season from the 10-yard line. Snap, kick is up, and it is through the uprights with 3:45 left in the half. Lakers 24, Southfield A&T 0, and Jake Ward coming in for his first field goal of the season. The Lakers able to march up the field, get into the red zone. This time, Southfield A&T lucky to not let them get pay dirt, and ultimately we'll get another chance at this after the kickoff.
Yeah, if the score wasn't 21-0, I would probably assume that Hilbers would have gone for it there. It'd be at like the 1.5, 2-yard line, but the Lakers offense tonight really moving the ball and showing a lot of signs that you would hope to see.
It took the Lakers just 1 minute and 20 seconds to score at the beginning of the game. And after the end of the first period, it took them just over 8 minutes to finally get on the board here in the second period. Both a testament of the Lakers' fortitude on that sustained drive, as well as Southfield A&T tightening up that defense deep in the red zone. And now they'll get a chance themselves for another offensive drive. They're able to sustain it themselves and march up the field. Likely could be their last one of this first half, as you see Coach Hilbers talking to Coach Buff on the sidelines. Probably some good reviews coming into this half after a couple of tough weeks on the road, bouncing back at home and showing some major strengths in these first nearly 24 minutes. Line drive kickoff for Justin Ward. This time will land inside the field of play at the 2-yard line. Returned by Southfield A&T up to the 15-yard line, and not much more. Lakers special teams front really chasing down Taiwan Esper and preventing that from turning into anything, but he'll get 13 on the kickoff return.
Yeah, I mentioned, I think it was last kickoff, that not many people are returning the ball against the Lakers this year. It's just because Justin Ward does a phenomenal job of just booting it deep and not giving them an opportunity to really take anything out. And we see a rare opportunity right here where they return it, and you see why they don't. They're so deep that typically the coverage team is able to pin them back deep.
As you see the signage on the sideline, it's homecoming night, some extra signs from the swamp, decked out in all black tonight. Blackout night at West Bloomfield High School, and the Lakers on the football field matching that themselves in their special alternate black uniforms with those white numbers, Southfield A&T in their white uniforms with navy blue numbers. We'll set up this drive at the 15-yard line, deep in their own territory, down 24 with 3:35 to go in a half, and 3 split out to the strong side left for Jeremy Porter. Jet sweep going to the left side, Wesley up to the 15 to the 25. A nice gainer for Southfield A&T as Wesley, listed as a backup quarterback, been highly effective outside the tackles tonight so far as a running back for Southfield A&T.
Yeah, a phenomenal job by Gar right there to pick up that free rusher, and then just an even better job right there by Wesley to get upfield when it really looked like there wasn't going to be much there at first.
Great gainer for Southfield A&T. As you see, the homecoming festivities getting ready. The class of 2028's float prepared to kick off the homecoming festivities at the half, just about 3 minutes and some change away at West Bloomfield High School. Porter will have 2 split out to either side. Man in motion, takes the shotgun snap. He'll rush it himself to the 25, up to the 30, approaching the 35, and gets about 4 yards.
Yeah, kind of like the Lakers so far this year. We're not really seeing Southfield A&T get much going in the passing game, so we're seeing them opt for quarterback carries even as opposed to just design passing plays. And right there, Porter does a good job of picking up about 7 yards.
Yeah, sort of scampers outside the tackles, looking for some sort of a block or a hole to develop where he would then be able to use that 4.8 speed. Instead, it'll be second down and short. Got to get up to the 36-yard line for the first down. Porter rolls outside the pocket toward the sideline, will get the first down and then step out of bounds with 2:02 to go in the half.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a horse collar at the beginning of the game, or play right there, but no flag, as the Lakers are now, they don't make the stop right there, but hoping to prevent points right here to close out the half.
Southfield A&T happy to move the chains there, starting to make some progress on the offensive side. That young offense not rushing things, taking a breath, running their sets and marching up the field. Plenty of time. They still have 2 timeouts in their pocket as well to try to get on the board before halftime at West Bloomfield High School. West Bloomfield returned the kick to begin the ball game, so Southfield A&T, little strategy in this too. They will get the ball to start the second half. Off a first down, handoff to Taiwan Esper outside the tackles to the 40, approaching the 45. We'll get about 4 yards.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal hit right there by Kylo Dickerson. And, I mean, just look at this right here. It just flew to the ball.
Right at the sideline, makes a big hit and takes down Taiwan Esper as we have another timeout on the field. And I want to remind you again, it's homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School. Plenty of festivities out there. You'll see some of the floats. You'll see the homecoming court as we go through our halftime show tonight. But I want to remind you also that there's plenty of great programming on Civic Center TV all throughout the week that let you know all the other things happening in the communities. The Splash Live, Monday through Friday on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Yours truly, Tyler Keefe, alongside Kevin McIntosh, Jake Schaff, and our entire team as we go through the latest news, information, fun events, and special projects across our 4 communities. You can also view us on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. As not only football being slung on the field, but also in the stands. for the Swamp, celebrating this homecoming night in style at WB. Southfield A&T taking their second of 3 timeouts as play now resumes. 2nd and 6. Reverse. They'll take it outside up to the 40-yard line, getting met with some traffic, trying to get up to the 45 and up to the 44. That's going to be about it for Brandon West.
Yeah, a good job by West right there to not go down at first contact. But an even better job by the Lakers to fly to the football, gang tackle right there, ensure that he doesn't progress past that first tackler.
Some pom-poms also for those first couple of rows of the Swamp at West Bloomfield High School. It is a packed house over there tonight with the Lakers up 24-0 with 1 minute and 34 seconds to go in this first half as Southfield A&T will go to the sidelines, as will the Lakers, for some discussion. And it's been an impressive half defensively for West Bloomfield, but look, Southfield A&T, this is not an easy defense to go up against, and they have been showing some fortitude late in this first half, starting to march up the field and inch toward plus territory.
Yeah, and Coach Hilbers mentioned, limiting those mistakes and forcing your opponents into the position to where they make those mistakes, and that's what we have seen from the Lakers defense here tonight. They forced their opponent into some 3rd and longs, 4th downs, and allowed the offense or special teams to make some mistakes for Southfield A&T.
And it's been all focus on that Lakers sideline all game long. Despite being up 24, you're not seeing a lot of celebration. Everybody lasered in on this rivalry game on homecoming night. Porter takes a shotgun snap, rolls out to his right, looking up the field, caught at the 50-yard line and advancing forward. A nice push also, breaking free, Timothy Garr up to the 40-yard line as he loses his helmet after a huge gain for Southfield A&T.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised there's no flag on the play right there. You see him throwing his arms up right there. Jeremiah Benson clearly looked like he was held, and I'm surprised there's no flag.
Southfield A&T now in plus territory up to the Laker 45-yard line with 1 minute and 22 and ticking to go in the first half. Down 24, looking to get on the board before they'll get the ball to start half number 2. Porter out of the shotgun, breakdown, gonna run right, gonna go for the first down and more, and then step right out of bounds at about the 27-yard line for a first down, moves the chains for Southfield A&T.
After that, those first few drives, not really getting anything going. We're kind of seeing Porter calm down a little bit, get a little bit more command of this offense as they pick up some first downs here.
Southfield A&T coming off a legendary run from Isaiah Marshall. A tough act to follow for Jeremy Porter, but he's been patient. He's been setting up plays well. He's not been afraid to take the ball himself when this Lakers secondary isn't opening up opportunities for his receivers, and really been critical for the Warriors on this drive as they're approaching the Laker end zone. Lakers 24, Southfield A&T 0. 1 minute and 2 to go in the first half. First down for Southfield A&T at the Laker 28. Porter out of the shotgun with trips left. Looking to the sideline, right side, caught and out of bounds as Brandon West pulls that football in.
Yeah, Porter doing a good job of managing the clock this drive, getting out of bounds when he's been carrying it, and right there, throwing the ball towards the outside shoulder to help the receiver be able to get out of bounds right there after catching it.
His first season as a varsity starter, but he's experienced in the Southfield A&T program. And it's showing now on the field, leading this young offense deep into Laker territory in the red zone for the first time tonight. Just under a minute to play in this first half. Southfield A&T yet to get on the board. Porter steps up in the pocket, rolls up to the 15-yard line, and he'll skip out of bounds for a short gain of about 3.
Yeah, not much going in the passing game for Southfield A&T, but Porter doing a good job of reading the defense, not forcing passes, and just knowing when to tuck it and run it as a passer.
It's again just that veteran patience for the junior as he gets the next play call from the sideline from Coach McKenzie. Coach Smith, the offensive coordinator, and heads back on the field. Plenty of time, 1 timeout still for the Warriors. With 51 seconds to go in this half, they're at the Laker 14 on the right hash, down 24-zip. Wesley, the running back in the backfield alongside the quarterback, Jeremy Porter. 2 split out to the right side short. Porter rolls out to his right, looks to the sideline. It is deflected out of bounds as Lakers were all over that in the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, sending a blitzer right there after, the Southfield A&T has done a good job of picking up their normal 3 or 4 rushers. And Chops Pittman nearly comes away with an interception right there.
Had a pick 6 in week 1. He has been a ball hawk for the Lakers so far in 2024.
He might have been off to the races right there if he came down with that one, too.
Yeah, that is true. He had some space in the boundary at the sideline. That is a recipe for disaster. That ball just a little out of his reach as he leapt to knock that ball down. So now Porter looking to the end zone out of the shotgun. Again, will roll toward the sideline right. Looking into the end zone, and it is picked off. And he will be marked landing inbounds. So now the Lakers will take that ball over. A huge interception, first of the season for Khalik Robinson.
And I think they ruled him as gaining possession in the end zone. So that might even be more crucial, as it'll give the Lakers the ball at the 20-yard line as opposed to the 1-yard line. And just a phenomenal play right there. Almost going away with the pick the play before, but and just maintaining that discipline as a defense, keeping your eyes on the quarterback. And they come away with an interception right there. Just a phenomenal job by Robinson.
A heads-up play and great body control for the junior defensive back, 5'10", 130 pounds. And look, he's got confidence. He wanted to prove himself as a skilled player in this defense in 2024. He said on X in June, I'm not a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1 star, but I know I'm a star. I don't need anybody to tell me what I am. And he shows it there with an interception for the Lakers. One last drive for them with 38 seconds to play in this half. Up 24-0 as they take away a potential scoring opportunity. Jackson out of the shotgun, all the time in the world, looking way up the field. The Durham caught at the 45, and he's going yard. Still on his feet, and in the end zone. Touchdown, Elijah Durham.
And I mean, just that incredible arm strength on display right there for Bo Jackson. Rolling out of the pocket, giving his receivers time to get downfield, and just delivering a strike 35 yards on a frozen rope to Elijah Durham. Catches it in motion and just sprints his way down in the end zone. Just a phenomenal play for the Lakers and first play touchdown.
His longest reception of the season coming into this evening was 50 yards. He breaks that one and more. An 80-yard touchdown for West Bloomfield puts them up 30-0 after just one play. 11 seconds to march up the field and into the end zone, and Justin Ward will get another try to potentially put the Lakers 4 points away from the mercy rule as we approach half.
And it may not seem like the biggest things, but those quick throws that we saw earlier in the game with Bo Jackson kind of getting him in a rhythm leads to plays like that where he's able to hit those receivers in stride and get into better rhythm and chemistry with his receivers.
Splitting the uprights again, Lakers 31, Southfield A&T 0, and it has been an incredible showing for the Lakers tonight in all 3 phases. It seems like they finally got themselves in tune. They got their confidence back. They worked really hard this week. And it's showing in a rivalry game, in a show-me game on homecoming night with all eyes on West Bloomfield.
Yeah, all eyes is the best way to put it, because all eyes were on West Bloomfield here tonight. Southfield A&T obviously struggling, and obviously you're going to struggle replacing a player like Zeke Marshall. But the Lakers needed to not just win tonight, but it be emphatic if they wanted to come out and show the rest of the OAA, hey, we're still in the mix here. Don't get it twisted.
And it's not just Zeke Marshall they lost. They lost tons of key players. Davier Burton, Matthias Smith-Davis in that backfield. Smith-Davis, who was so huge as a power rusher in that semifinal game against the Lakers at Troy High School last fall. Tashi Braceful and Juwan Jarrett in the air in the wide receiver core. And then 3, 4 key offensive linemen who are all studs in their own right. Squib kick up to the 50-yard line. It is deflected out of the hands of Southfield A&T, and the Lakers celebrating. They've got the football again. A big play in the special teams front for West Bloomfield. Elijah White coming up with that ball.
I don't even know if that was necessarily a designed onside kick. I think it just happened to get in the up man's leg. But heads-up football, disciplined football, and the Lakers, like you said, a very detailed week, and it's looking like a very detailed game. come away with the ball right there.
They are laser focused. Everybody wants to make a play. Everybody wants to help out this team and give them as many opportunities to execute during this ball game. It's something Coach Hilbers talked about with me earlier on this week, even before this week in Laker football, and certainly during this week's program. Really just staying focused on what's ahead of you and playing the best 48 minutes that you can on this evening, putting those last two games behind you, learning lessons from those losses and applying them on the gridiron tonight. Lakers been able to do that end zone to end zone as they'll have another chance, 25 seconds, 3 timeouts, and starting off at the Southfield 48. Jackson out of the gun, rolls out to his left, looking yard again, up and just over the head of his intended receiver. It'll go out of bounds at the 25-yard line as he looked for Cam Flowers.
I mean, it's still impressive that he was almost able to make that throw. Going against his body, he's able just 30, 35 yards right there on the run, and just very nearly out of reach right there. And it looks like the Lakers are trying to get that moving clock as soon as the second half starts and not looking for a field goal.
Jackson got a great pocket, rolled outside to give his receivers a couple more seconds to make some plays. You see Elijah Durham, Jaden Allos out to the far right, Cam Flowers coming over there as well. The Lakers will line up trips right with 17 seconds to go in the first half. Second down and 10 at the 49-yard line of Southfield A&T. One split out wide left for West Bloomfield and one in the backfield for quarterback Jackson. Pocket breaks down. He'll take it outside to the 40, up to the 45, down to the 40, inside the 30, down to the 21-yard line. What a gainer. Bo Jackson on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, a phenomenal run right there, not slowing down, looking like some defenders shying away from contact right there against the quarterback, and just a phenomenal run right there to put them in field goal range, but also giving them time to maybe take a few shots here at the end zone before the half.
For a moment there, Matt, I wasn't sure if that was Bo Jackson or if that was Jamal Shakespeare, simply because of his low center of gravity, his shifty movement, the speed. He turned on the afterburners and got a big gainer for West Bloomfield. They will use one of their timeouts to stop the clock with 7 seconds to go in the half. Take another look at this play. That play was dead. He should have been sacked. And instead he takes it from going back into negative territory to going way into plus territory and making a huge play into the red zone.
Bo Jackson right there on that run. It's just, I mean, a phenomenal job right there to set the Lakers up to get some points here before the half, ideally.
Either way, Bo knows, and he did exactly what he thought he needed to do to make a play. And the Lakers have a chance with a 31-point lead with 7 seconds left in the first half. Probably another play in their pocket. Still got that timeout. And can either send Justin Ward back out there for another field goal attempt. He's 1 for 1 tonight, also 1 for 1 on the season. Go up 34. Take a couple shots at the end zone and try to start the second half with the running clock. Let's get the answer. First and 10 for the Lakers at the 20 of Southfield A&T. 2 split out wide left on the strong side and short left on the right. Looks like one high safety for Southfield A&T and press to the right. Jackson out of the shotgun, got time, looking in the corner, up top and just over the hands of Jaden Allos, incomplete.
I don't know if that was a designed jump ball to Allos right there, considering he's your tallest receiver. But with that single high safety, it looked like they might have had an opportunity for Elijah Durham over the middle.
Yeah, just barely outside the reach. Those long arms of Jaden Allos, and that will be it for the first half. 31 for West Bloomfield, 0 for Southfield A&T. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV?
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. It's the West Bloomfield Laker halftime show on homecoming night. And Matt, a lot of things to be celebrating beyond the homecoming court as the Lakers are up 31-0 at the break.
Yeah, I mean, really just about as ideal of a homecoming performance as you could hope. Limiting their mistakes aside from one or two 15-yard penalties and the Josh Tate fumble that they fell on right away, but almost a pitch-perfect performance here on homecoming for the Lakers.
And it's been a lot of these playmakers that you see every week making big plays. Jeremiah Benson with a sack and a half in the first half, but also some of the guys down the depth chart, you don't hear their names a lot, like Kalik Robinson with a great interception, and Devin James with a couple of nice plays, including a touchdown early on. As you start to see the homecoming floats come through at West Bloomfield High School, the class of 2028. You saw that float earlier on representing the moon. Blue colors on homecoming night. A special evening, one of the few times you get to see some motor vehicles and some student-designed floats rolling across the track at West Bloomfield High School and turning this into more than just a football game. This is a big community gathering and a way for our students to celebrate each other and celebrate their unique bonds at West Bloomfield High School.
Yeah, I mean, wow, look at that one right there. That is an impressive float. I mean, wow.
Yeah, maybe send that one up to the moon. That may be going and exploring. I don't know. These have been three impressive floats we've seen so far from classes of 28, 27, and 26, but it's going to be a tough one to beat. To get a little bit of an outer space theme, here comes the seniors, the class of 2025, and their final float.
You know, the spaceship themes, you saw NASA on the one before. Who knows, maybe some of these students are going to be engineers at NASA next thing we know.
I mean, we got a lot of impressive engineering students in the West Bloomfield School District, the West Bloomfield High School Atomigators robotics team. We talk about them all the time on the Splash Live, not just because we like them, but because they're bringing home the hardware.
I mean, and these floats, honestly, are just as impressive as the Lakers showing out there on the field tonight. Just, you know, phenomenal job right here by the students, you know, just pitching in on that homecoming spirit.
It's got to be helpful, too, having a great football game on the field. This has been a team that's been the backbone of Lakers sports in recent years. State champions in 2020, some of the highest profile athletes in the state of Michigan across any sports in recent years, from Donovan Edwards a few years back, Samaj Morgan more recently, Brandon Davis Swain, and something to be really excited about for these Laker faithful who have packed the stadium tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Family Fun Night earlier in the season. Now we have homecoming here tonight. We've mentioned the talent that the Lakers have had over the years, but if one thing's for certain, it's also that the Lakers have some of the best fans in all the OAA as well.
And they've had a ton to cheer about tonight as the Lakers have been excellent in all three phases of the game. And we've seen a great performance from Bo Jackson also. Kind of an underrated game for him, leading this Lakers offense as the primary quarterback tonight.
Yeah, and it was really a game that you've been hoping to see from him because, you know, it kind of frees up some of that, you know, responsibility for Jamal Shakespeare on defense and as a ball carrier himself. And really, if he's able to get firing on all cylinders, it can take this offense to that next level and really hopefully expand that passing game.
We're seeing majority of Lakers plays tonight and even the past 3 weeks be on the ground, but they've been able to expand into that passing game tonight. We saw Cam Flowers get involved earlier. We saw a long bomb pass to Elijah Durham, something we've become very familiar with in recent years, and that's got to be music to the ears of Ken Rise and that offensive team on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, really with his arm strength and mobility, being able to tap into that with Bo Jackson is something that Ken Rise is probably foaming at the mouth about. Just really, that's the one thing that can take this offense to the next level. It's just that arm strength, because you saw that on that bomb to Durham. It got there on a frozen rope in a split second, and about a 35, 30, or 40-yard throw, and it's just impressive to zip on his passes.
I want to talk about the strengths of the Lakers, this marching band, one of those we see each and every fall, an award-winning band, now performing at arguably one of their biggest performances of the season. The Flag Girls on the sideline for West Bloomfield, getting the crowd riled up at this halftime on homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School in their own special uniforms. A little space theme there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even Michael Jackson-esque. I heard the announcer mention that the theme for the marching band tonight might have been Michael Jackson. And, those uniforms right there for the flag twirlers looked almost right out of a Michael Jackson video themselves.
That's what's even more special about homecoming night, is you get to see not just a great football game, not just a feature of each of the classes and the homecoming court as they get ready for their dance on Saturday night of this weekend, but really featuring all of the different skill sets across the entire student body on display on the biggest night of the week in West Bloomfield on Friday football.
Yeah, it really gives everyone an opportunity to display themselves in some form, whether it's through the float, school spirit, the marching band, flag twirlers, the football players, the cheerleaders. Really, it's just impressive to see how the school is able to come together and show all their talent.
Plenty more to talk about on the homecoming front and the football front. It's a Laker halftime show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to West Bloomfield Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The Laker halftime show, as you see the cheerleaders in the background here at West Bloomfield High School, as we're atop the stadium in the booth tonight in West Bloomfield. A lot to be smiling and cheering about and waving those pom-poms, up 31-0 at the half.
Yeah, and I mean, just barely unable to come away with points right there at the half, and you start things with the moving clock. But right now, this Lakers offense and defense is playing about as perfectly as you could hope for tonight, and really living up to the requirements that we had for them before the game.
Great hype team here at West Bloomfield High School. The cheerleaders on the sideline, now Palms dancing at halftime for West Bloomfield High School on homecoming night in WB, and it's a busy weekend too. We had the homecoming parade earlier on today, household hazardous waste at West Bloomfield Town Hall. That drop-off began. Seniors today, senior citizens, and see a lot of the seniors on the field for West Bloomfield High School during this celebration. And the Lakers having a great game also on the defensive side. That's really been the biggest point for the football side to be celebrating tonight. That defensive line has been a terror for these Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, really, this Lakers defensive front has been just dominant, not allowing anything really to progress past 3 or 4 yards on any run. We've seen them have some success with Porter as a carrier. But, I mean, just going back to that first sack of the game, just that stunt right there by, I believe, who was it, Jeremiah Benson, that stunt where he was able to just fly to the ball. It's just the tenacity that this defensive front has been playing tonight. You can tell that it is personal for them, and they remember how that game last year ended.
That's a great point, Matt, because you can tell that it's personal really for everybody. As that sideline, I've never seen it so stoic and focused in my 7 years on these broadcasts as a producer and now on the air also for this team. They are all laser focused on beating Southfield A&T on the mission at hand tonight at West Bloomfield High School, and it's been showing on the field and on the sideline for the Lakers as they have been executing in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned all 3 phases because it has been all 3 phases, and we've seen the importance of that each week. We've seen the special teams kind of keep them in games, and we've seen, turnovers on offense where they're not usually accustomed to seeing cost them games. Tonight we've seen all 3 phases kind of play cohesively, and, the scoreboard reflects that.
You saw the Palms team, now the cheer team going from the sidelines on the track in front of the swamp to right at midfield. It's Kevin McIntosh, our camera operator, joining them in the dance out there at West Bloomfield High School. Everybody getting their chance to shine on the field tonight on homecoming night. They'll have plenty more dancing inside the high school on the homecoming dance on Saturday, but getting to show off the many great talents of these Laker athletes. The cheer team having a great season themselves, as are the Lakers on the football field, and the tennis team also winning the OAA Blue Division Championship earlier this week, the first time they've done that since 2007. And Matt, look, it's a football school. Everyone will say that, and I think everybody would agree West Bloomfield's a football school, but man, these athletic programs are excellent all across the board in every season.
Yeah, it's hard not to call it a football school with the talent that they have put out in the state title in 2020. But it is a very talented athletic school altogether, and I mean, you can see what they've invested in the facilities, and the success reflects that.
Yeah, we're not doing backflips here in the studio after those big plays. We may seem excited, but not nearly as athletic as this cheer team for West Bloomfield High School, putting on an impressive show. As you see some of the younger students cheering on the seniors, getting their chance to shine at midfield. A special moment as the rest of the cheer team joins them in the middle of the anchor. What a moment on this homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School, one of those final showings. You have senior night, but homecoming a special night for everybody as everyone gets a chance to shine on the football field. And that's why they extend this half out a little bit each and every year, Matt, because it's bringing the community back together at the high school for a football game, for a celebration of what it means to be a Laker. As you see another great shot from our team at midfield as the cheer team concludes, and we'll soon see the homecoming court take the field at West Bloomfield High School. Homecoming, a special moment during these football seasons at any high school, and it's a turning point in the season for everybody in the student body.
Yeah, really, we saw Family Fun Night and how, kind of reflecting the appreciation to the community. Whereas homecoming here tonight, it's kind of the student body's chance to, show off their talents as well, not just the football team. But it just kind of feeds into that energy we had coming into this game tonight as is. It was a huge game. It's homecoming. You don't want to lose as is with what's on the line, but it's homecoming especially. You got to win on homecoming.
We've seen the homecoming court come out on the field, including Ashton McCoy taking a break from the halftime festivities in Lakers 66. Plenty to celebrate here. The Spirit Crew and the homecoming court making their way for the big show on this homecoming night, revealing the homecoming king and homecoming queen for 2024. As you see the homecoming court out on the sideline at the 50-yard line.
The 2024 queen is Paris Taylor.
Let you soak in a moment as Paris gets her sack. Ron also getting his sash as well tonight. Getting their sash tonight also. The homecoming court and the crowns are now on the hats. Great work by our camera crew at midfield, capturing these special moments. The homecoming king and the homecoming queen have been revealed on homecoming weekend at West Bloomfield High School. Soak in the moment.
I mean, and looking rather dapper with the fur coat on as well. I mean, just a phenomenal moment, and just, exactly what homecoming is all about.
Now, is it fashion or is it just forward thinking? Because a little bit of a chillier night, as we get into the fall season, the last few days of summer here in Greater West Bloomfield, as we'll approach the official first day of fall coming up this Sunday. Plenty more football ahead on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The Laker halftime show will continue after this.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
I'm Greg Flynn, the fire chief here in West Bloomfield. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on your 1 million views on YouTube. Together we share the message of community safety and preparedness, making West Bloomfield a safe and wonderful place to live. My name's Greg Flynn, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Welcome back to the Laker halftime show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Tyler Keefe alongside Matt Catoni. The Lakers up 31-0 at the half, and we've seen a lot of stars shine for West Bloomfield, but make no mistake, Southfield A&T, despite losing the majority of their roster from that championship team, still has some fantastic players coming back in 2024. We've seen them make some effective plays and set up some pretty big plays on the defensive front so far tonight. Really one of the highlights of the defense are their linebacking core, and that's in part led by Jordan Melton, a fantastic athlete for Southfield A&T. A safety, plays a little bit of nickelback and has been critical to this team on offense and on defense for a number of years. And you want to talk about putting in some effort. He put on about 40 pounds over the offseason. He was listed for the championship game as being at 155 pounds, listed this season at 195. Bigger and stronger than ever. One of 3 returning starters from that championship team and leading this next generation of Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, really having those people there really to kind of carry the torch is really crucial. And we're seeing even tonight, you know, kind of what happens when you lose a lot of that experience. It's going to be tough to get back to where they were, but having guys like Melton and that experience on the defensive front is going to help them get back to where they want to be.
Another key player in that linebacking core is Kenneth Brooks. Kenny Brooks has been huge for them in the last couple of years, and not necessarily been someone we've been calling the number of a lot tonight, but that leadership you talked about, Matt, so critical for Southfield A&T as they start to rebuild and re-identify this program under Keith McKenzie. We'll highlight Kenneth Brooks, one of CNG News' players to watch in the OAA coming in to the 2024 season. And you know, he's also prided himself and wanted to emphasize this year hard work, discipline, and being coachable, something that's so huge when you're trying to influence younger players in a developing program.
Yeah, and really those 3 things are going to be huge if they want to get back to where they were last year. And I'm sure their head coach, you know, given his NFL experience, knows how important those 3 things are. We've seen them, you know, kind of have a little bit success in the run game here tonight, but, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if they keep their heads on their shoulders tonight, don't, you know, necessarily put their heads in the dirt, go back home. You know, we're down 31-0. It's going to be interesting to see if Southfield A&T comes out here and competes in the second half.
Yeah, able to put up 14 last week against Rochester after they were shut out in week 2 by Clarkston following their initial shutout against Flint Beecher. Their one victory this season, 46-0 at home to kick off the season for Southfield A&T. And you know, those ups and downs you're going to experience, but like you said, having the tutelage of a great head coach that's had a lot of experience both as a player and an assistant coach at the collegiate and the professional level is huge. Keith McKenzie, perhaps the best option for Southfield A&T after an historic 3 years for Aaron Marshall as their head coach. We'll take a quick break and plenty more coming up in the second half. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Welcome back to the Laker Halftime Show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. A couple minutes from half number 2, Matt, but an impressive first half for the Lakers. Those first 24 minutes, 31 points on the board, and a lot to be happy about across all 3 phases.
Yeah, I mean, a lot to be happy about, and really, hopefully they expand on what there is to be happy about. I want to see them not just, kind of come out in the second half and just, hand the ball off 2 out of 4 downs, punt, and just keep things moving. I want to see them kind of try and expand on what they were able to get going with Bo Jackson and kind of get that rhythm going and get chemistry going in the passing game and see if they can expand going forward.
Yeah, we've seen play action be one of the focal points of this offense tonight. It's helped them set up some of those passing plays, whether it's been short balls or long balls that have gone to a variety of different receivers, particularly Elijah Durham, but some nice plays, including a touchdown on some action for Devin James early on. Perhaps we'll see more of that. This is a team that's been very heavy rushing the season this year so far. In the first 3 weeks, they would run the ball 67% of the time, and very similar numbers on the first play of those drives, with about 63% of the first plays being on the ground. But we're seeing that passing game come into the fold tonight, and they certainly have the weapons for it with Elijah Durham and Cameron Flowers. I think much like Southfield A&T building their identity for this new era under Keith McKenzie, we're seeing the Lakers, particularly on the offensive side, building their identity as they develop in the early portion of the season and figure out how to use this bevy of talent that they have at their disposal.
Yeah, last year they had Rick Nance at quarterback, the luxury of having an experienced quarterback. Now this year, they're kind of in that compromising position where neither of their quarterbacks have really set themselves apart in the quarterback competition. But I think given the skill set that Bo Jackson has as a passer with his arm strength and both the value that Shakespeare has as a threat on offense and on defense, if Bo Jackson can get going as a passer, this team can just take that next step forward and be dangerous at the state level.
You see the 1 and 2 Southfield A&T Warriors making their way back on the field. They'll be moving right to left across your screen and across your radio dial as we begin the final 24 minutes of this ball game. And Justin Ward will kick the ball off for the Lakers. They started the game with the ball tonight, and a very quick offensive drive to start off the night, 1 minute and 20 seconds to get them on the board. Southfield A&T hoping for maybe some similar fortune in half number 2. A sustained drive to end the half. They got within 10 yards of the Laker end zone, and then just a really well-timed athletic play by Kalik Robinson got the Lakers the ball back with under 20 seconds to play and prevented Southfield A&T from getting on the board. That's what's ultimately left us 31-0 as we put 12 minutes on the clock, 24 left to play, and Justin Ward will kick this ball off. Booming kick lands at the 5. Returned by Southfield A&T. Tripped, but he's up at the 15. Down to the 20. Outside the 25. And hit just before the 25 at the 24-yard line. A tackle for Will Espy.
And again, we mentioned special teams firing on all cylinders. Ward not giving any teams really this year an opportunity to take any kicks back for decent yardage, let alone for points. And right there, a booming kick. Looks like there's a lane for a second, but it's so deep downfield, it gives the Lakers coverage team enough time to tackle him at about the 22, 23-yard line.
Lakers, I mean, for all the skill players they've had that have gotten all the praise over the years, Donovan Edwards, Dylan Tatum, A.J. Abbott, Taj Mustafa. For all those players, their special teams, their kickers, their punters have been fantastic too. Jake Ward, Justin Ward, the LaFava brothers. And a big feature of that has been how pinpoint they are. They can kick the long ball, they can kick a squib, they can get some hang time, and they do it highly effective. And that's so underrated in that, unfortunately, third phase of the game. You tend to favor offense or defense and push aside special teams, but Ward really showing the key of the special teams front so far tonight. First play from scrimmage in the second half for this Warriors offense. Play action going nowhere but backwards on the direct snap to Brandon West.
Yeah, we've seen some troubles on the snaps on special teams for Southfield A&T, now leaking over to the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, now setting back Southfield A&T about 5-6 yards after that botched snap.
Not the way you want to start half number 2 for Brandon Smith and this offense. Looks like there is an injury on the field, and so while that's going on, we want to remind you, Laker football is with you each and every week. The Lakers are going to Clarkston next week. We'll do our best to have live coverage, at least radio, maybe a single camera out there next week at Clarkston, as that's going to be a huge game for the Lakers. Their second OAA Red Division game, and really every game in the Red this season, Matt, going to be critical for West Bloomfield because, you know, whether you're playing the teams that are expected to be in the upper echelon every single year, the Clarkstons, the Adams, the Lake Orions of the world, or you're playing teams that are kind of on the up and up like Oxford, every team packs a punch in this division.
Yeah, I mean, right now the Lakers are kind of on the outside looking in, but it's still so early in the season that it doesn't matter. Everyone in this conference is going to beat each other up, and at the end of the day, if the Lakers can handle their business and, you know, maybe sneak off a win or two against Clarkson technically or Lake Orion, they'll be right in the thick of things to win the division at the end of the year.
So hear the applause on the field as the injured player for Southfield A&T making their way back to their sideline with just 32 seconds into the second half. As we talk about our Laker football coverage, I want to remind you, you can find us all across social media. Follow us for free on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube for free as well. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and on X at Civic Center TV as well. Play will resume after the first down that went nothing but backwards for Southfield A&T. Second and long with 11:14 and ticking in the third. Porter out of the shotgun, got some time, looking inside, caught, gain of about 3 yards for Southfield A&T as that hits the hands of William Call.
Yeah, a really good job on that throw right there by Porter. They haven't really been able to get much going today in the passing game. Lakers defensive front getting their hands on a lot of passes. Right there, he just floats it right over number 25, Kylo Dickerson right there, and he's able to pick up a good set of yardage to set it up for about a 3rd and 5.
With the Lakers sideline, as Ashton McCoy continues to warm up with Bo Jackson and Jay Gardenhire in the big 7-1 for West Bloomfield. Great game so far for Jackson. And this offensive line giving them great protection as well. Southfield A&T looking to mimic that on 3rd and 6 at their 29-yard line. Porter setting up his offense, moving his receivers around, shifting 3 out wide to the left on the strong side, 1 man in the backfield. Going for that hard count, almost got the safety. Snap, looks to the sideline, over the head. And nothing happening there for Southfield A&T. Porter thought he had something at the sideline. Ball looked like it may have been deflected even a little. That'll set up 4th down.
You know, kind of giving himself away there on the blitz before with the, you know, faking the snap, but still able to get his hand on the pass right there as the free rusher and setting up a 4th down right here where it's going to be interesting to see if Southfield A&T goes for it.
And you saw on that replay, it was deflected. Great slowdown there from our crew to show you how that play concluded, as Southfield A&T will once again punt the ball off to West Bloomfield. That first drive of the second half, just 2 minutes for the young gentlemen in white and blue. They're moving their protection inside. They've had a little bit of issues snapping the ball. Saw early on, went way over the punter's head. A couple of low ones. That one bobbled again, down at the 15-yard line. Lakers swallow them up, and they'll have a great set of field position for their first drive at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Southfield A&T just goes for it on fourth down every single time the rest of the game. Their long snapper is clearly struggling here tonight. That's about as I believe it's been a miss snap almost every single time they've punted. After the initial high snap, he's undersnapped it each time, and special teams for Southfield A&T just clearly struggling here tonight.
I'd like to personally apologize for broadcaster jinxing that punt for Southfield A&T. Not my intention there, as we have under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. 31-0 in favor of West Bloomfield, and they have great field position here. Back in the red zone, weren't able to make it happen in the waning seconds of half number one. Now with under 10 minutes to play in the third, looking to get in the end zone and put themselves in a running clock position. Not been unfamiliar for them at West Bloomfield High School, as they had that blowout game in week one against Chippewa Valley where they won 42-0. Jamal Shakespeare will be the gunslinger for the Lakers. Two split out, short to the left. Man in motion is Duru. Snap to Shakespeare. He'll throw the end zone. Got a man, and outside the hands of Cameron Flowers. Off balance, got his hands on the football, just couldn't secure it there, as we see a rare throw from Jamal Shakespeare.
Yeah, Flowers is going to want that one back. He is definitely going to be thinking about this one for some time. Not a bad throw at all. Pass hits him in both his hands. Just kind of looked like he wasn't, just came out of, pushing off of the receiver, kind of hand fighting with the receiver or corner a little bit there. Unable to come down with the pass. Just hate to see it.
Yeah, inside shoulder, not a lot of space before the sideline in the end zone. A well-thrown ball, just a difficult play to make, even for somebody as athletic as Cameron Flowers. 2nd and 10 for West Bloomfield. Got to get up to the 4-yard line to get a 1st and goal. Shakespeare still in at the quarterback. Duru in motion. Shakespeare, play breaks down. He's going to get sacked. 3 Warriors in on that one, led in particular by Christian Smith and supported by Marquise Carson.
Yeah, I mean, that play just didn't stand a chance. Southfield A&T sniffing it out immediately. Kind of looked like James slowed up a little bit right there out of his motion. Might have gave the defense a little bit of a tip as to what was coming right there, but setting up a huge 3rd down right here for the Lakers.
They were able to inch up the field toward the end of the first half.
Oh.
Wow. And a lucky break for the Lakers. Hey, you set that up pretty well, Matt. They just unfortunately were not able to make anything out of those first couple of plays. Now they're going to move up after the personal foul called at a 10-yard line. Much more favorable territory. The Lakers will have 2 split out to either side for Jamal Shakespeare. He'll remain in at the quarterback. Delayed quarterback draw, gets up to the 5-yard line, pushes free and reaches to the 4. He'll get the 1st down.
Yeah, a good job by Shakespeare right there on that draw right there. Doesn't look like he's going to really make it past like 2 or 3 yards or past the line of scrimmage, but he keeps the legs churning, keeps it moving, and picks up the sticks.
Just enough time for his blindside tackle, Travis Robertson, to make a key block, open up a huge hole on the left side, and get the Lakers that 1st and goal as we have a Warrior down on the field again. I want to remind you, after this week's game, it's This Week in Laker Football. Early on each and every week, I'll talk to head coach Zach Hilbers about the game that just happened and preview what's coming up next for West Bloomfield. And we're getting to the really interesting part of the season, Matt, because next few games are all OAA red, and they're all rivalry games. Clarkston on the road, kind of that Michigan State matchup between the Lakers and the Wolves every single year. That's an identity game for these two teams. And then West Bloomfield after that comes home for what's been a really tough matchup for them in past years and has brought us many instant classics This next home game in a couple weeks, October 4th, will be Lake Orion coming to town.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see a lot of just state title contenders, a lot of top 15 teams in the state, even outside of the OAA Red. When they play Roseville later on in the season, that is going to be a tough team from the MAC who usually has very explosive offenses and just tremendous receivers to worry about.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for the Lakers. Clarkston, Lake Orion, Oxford, Seaholm, and Roseville on the docket coming up. Not on the minds of the Swamp right now. Only thing on the minds of them on homecoming night is this 31-0 lead with a 1st and goal on the way following the injury timeout. Southfield A&T will make their way back on the field. The injured Warrior going to the sideline to meet up with their trainer. Hopefully be okay and back in game action very soon. Ball is marked at the 5-yard line, so not quite enough to get to that line to goal game. So it'll be 4th down for West Bloomfield, 4th and very short. Lakers will sub in a couple more offensive linemen as you see Sean Owens dash back out onto the field. A bunch formation for West Bloomfield with Joshua Tate in the Wildcat. High snap, he'll take it inside, get inside the 5, inside the 3, reach for the end zone. Does he have it? He does not. It will be marked at the 1-yard line. That close to pay dirt for Joshua Tate.
Yeah, not able to pick up the first down right there, but he is able to pick up the first down. Just look at the offensive front right there for the Lakers. That left guard and left tackle just huge in establishing their presence on the front.
I mean, you can open up those kinds of opportunities for a running back with the dual threat ability of Josh Tate to be a power back, to be a speed back, to be shifty. Man, you're going to score a lot of points at critical times with offensive blockers like that. Now Jackson out of the pistol. Handoff inside, pushing for the end zone, gets in. Touchdown, West Bloomfield. They'll get in the end zone and go up 37.
I mean, just a phenomenal job on the option right there. It looked like he waited until the last possible second right there to hand it off. And Herbert able to get into the end zone right there and just get the clock moving right here now and really just set up to where the Lakers will be able to keep things moving the rest of the game.
Yeah, he finally got his chance to eat on that previous play, that 4th and short for Jamal Shakespeare. My apologies, for Joshua Tate. He was one of the key blockers on the inside, just to the right of the running back to set up 1st and goal. And then he gets his shot and gets his first touchdown of the season. High snap on the PAT. And it looks like that didn't get anywhere. Not going to happen. The first missed PAT of the season for Justin Ward. Nonetheless, it'll remain 37-0 in favor of West Bloomfield. And another offensive drive that ends up successful for West Bloomfield tonight.
Yeah, and another offensive drive set up by the defense capitalizing off of a mistake made by Southfield A&T. And that goes back to what Coach Hilbers was saying. Don't make the mistakes. Back your opponent into the corner to where they're going to end up making those mistakes out of desperation. And the Lakers have been phenomenal in capitalizing those tonight.
Now, since it is over a 35-point lead for West Bloomfield, second time this season we'll see the mercy rule in effect. Here's how that works. Except that regular stoppages of play in between possessions, timeouts, injuries. This will be a running clock for the remainder of this game unless Southfield A&T is able to get at least 3 points on the board. That clock you're seeing on the brand new scoreboard, bringing a lot more fun to West Bloomfield High School, including with help from us over here at Civic Center TV, some in-game action, some in-stadium action also for those that attend the games throughout this season. Kickoff to the 5-yard line, returned by Southfield A&T up to the 25, breaking 3 at the 30, at the 40, at the 45, and into plus territory. Opens the floodgates and gets into plus territory. Taiwan Esper down to the 49.
Yeah, we mentioned, the impact that West Bloomfield's kickers, Allos and Ward, have. But, I mean, look at Ward right here stepping up and making the tackle right there and ensuring that that kick doesn't go all the way back for 6. And just a phenomenal job stepping up and making the tackle.
46-yard kickoff return sets up Southfield A&T for the best field position off of a kickoff return all night at the West Bloomfield 49-yard line. You'll take those small victories wherever you can get them. And for an offense that's been pretty effective in the last few drives, inching up the field, now they'll get another opportunity. Different quarterback, though. Rashad Ace Bowens checking in for Southfield A&T, the sophomore. Snapping the handoff right up the gut, back to the line of scrimmage, and a gain of 1 on first down as Timothy Garr will take that football.
Yeah, this game's kind of in hand at this point, or decided, so it makes sense to, see what else you have available at the quarterback position and see what, you might be able to do going forward, and if you have a decision to make at that position.
Coach McKenzie, Coach Smith have been content to give Ace Bowen some opportunities throughout these first 3 weeks. Of course, he got some opportunities in that blowout 46-zip victory for the Warriors in week 1 against Flint Beecher, but a few opportunities even last week in that lopsided game against Rochester. Kind of got an interesting mechanic on his throw, a bit of a sidearm, or I like to say like a hockey player would throw a wrist shot, kind of a wrist motion as he throws the ball. But highly effective, got a lot of promise as a freshman. Makes quick decisions and not afraid to go for the long ball or the inside shoulder pass. Reverse to Taiwan Esper, out to the 50-yard line, up to the 45, and approaching the 40 to the 41. Nice run for the senior.
Yeah, and a good job of selling that fake right there, especially, keeping that ball low and out of the defense's eyes as he flips it right there to Esper. He does a good job of exploding after getting it and just making it a 3rd and short.
Yeah, Speedy, as his nickname showed it there, and not the largest wide receiver, standing at just 5'9", but he gets low and gets under that approaching tackler at the point of attack, and that got him the sideline, used the boundary to his advantage, and got a nice chunk play. Running clock at West Bloomfield High School, 5.5 left in the third. West Bloomfield 37, Southfield A&T 0. 3rd and short for the Warriors. Got to get up to the 29-yard line. 2 yards to go. Ace Bowens in the shotgun, 1 in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Garr. Garr getting stuffed in the backfield. Get back up to the line of scrimmage, and that'll set up 4th down.
Yeah, I'm going to assume right here that Southfield A&T is going to go for it again, considering their woes on special teams and it being 4th and short. But, this Lakers defense tonight not giving up really anything in that run game inside of the tackles.
That left edge breaking free and into the backfield. Set up those linebackers for the second level to get in on the attack and not give any opportunities to Southfield A&T. They will keep this offense on the field for 4th and short. Just 2 yards to go to move the chains. Rashard Bowens out of the shotgun. 1 man in the backfield is Garr, and 3 split out right for Southfield. Bowens takes it himself, up to the line of scrimmage, and gets to the line to gain. The sophomore making a play and moving the chains for the Warriors.
Yeah, you saw Hellos before that snap too, kind of hinting that the pressure was going to be coming from his side. Off the snap, we see them go that opposite side, knowing that, the coverage isn't necessarily going to be as strong on that side in terms of run defense.
When Southfield A&T's had the ball and they've been going toward that north end zone for West Bloomfield, they have really utilized the sideline, whether it's been Jeremy Porter on those scrambles outside the pocket or Rashard Bowens now in this second half. Highly effective for that offense. A show of promise for Keith McKenzie, for offensive coordinator Brandon Smith, a former assistant here at West Bloomfield High School, going forward in this season and going forward building this program and that offensive identity. 1st and 10 at the Laker 38-yard line for Southfield A&T. Bowens out of the shotgun on the hard count. Lakers thought that pressure showing blitz, and it did get a false start. That'll set Southfield A&T back a few yards, and they'll try 1st down all over again.
Yeah, and really with the pressure that the Lakers have been able to force tonight, it's no surprise that, the offensive line's going to be a little fidgety for Southfield A&T.
That'll make a 1st and 15 for Southfield A&T, still in plus territory at the West Bloomfield 42. Bunch formation, 3 receivers split out to the right. Bowens out of the gun, standing tall at the 50, shifts left outside the pocket, looking way down the field. He's going to get slammed. Jaden Allo says no.
Flying in like a banshee, just a phenomenal job wrapping up Bowens right there, not letting him get that pass off because he looked like he was rearing up for a deep shot.
Jaden Allo's had 31 tackles in 2023 and an emphatic tackle welcoming Rashard Bowens into the varsity side of the OAA.
Good job to hold on to the ball right there for Bowens, too. It looked like it was half an inch away from being out.
Yeah, tough guy to go up against in Jaden Allo, someone who put on 17 pounds after last season, standing at 6'2", 202 pounds. Knocking you down in your 6 foot, 145-pound frame. Not an easy hit to take on any day. Rolling clock continues with 2 minutes in the third quarter. West Bloomfield 37, Southfield A&T 0. 2 split out to the short side left for Rashard Bowens. 1 in the backfield along with him. Second and very long for Southfield A&T. Snap to Bowens at the 50. Got a little bit of a pocket. Looking up the field and just outside of the reach of Taiwan Esper. If he would have had a couple more yards forward on that football, that would have been a first down, possibly even a touchdown.
Yeah, bringing pressure and not even hiding it before the snap right there, just trying to make every throw of this young quarterback as difficult as possible.
Up 37, but taking no plays off. As you see Ron Jones, the defensive coordinator for West Bloomfield, still intensely giving orders to that defense. They got to focus. They got to play a full 48 minutes. That's been something that they don't believe they did in these last 2 weeks. They believe, look, we took some plays off. We didn't play as physical as we should have against Avery Gatch and Birmingham Groves, against that wily veteran defense and offense of Rochester Adams. And it showed. It showed in the win-loss column. It showed on the scoreboard. We're not doing that in week number 4. Out of the shotgun, Bowens looking to the sideline, picked off, going the other way. Here come the Lakers. And he's going to waltz right on into the end zone. A touchdown for Chops Pittman, pick 6, number 2 on the season.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier on that tip pass how if he was able to come down with it, he might have been gone for 6. Right here, he jumps another route towards that boundary and takes it back for 6. I mean, just a phenomenal job in pass coverage so far this year by Chops Pittman. He has been a very versatile piece for this defense, in both his ability as a pass rusher, but also his athleticism as a pass coverage as well.
Look, he's been great for the basketball team at West Bloomfield High School. Took a year off football. Now he's back. He's on the varsity team and making a name for himself on the gridiron as he takes it to the house to end the third quarter. The PAT will be the end of the third as Justin Ward comes back out. The chance to put the Lakers up 44. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick. Lakers 44, Southfield A&T 0. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. 36 minutes down, 12 minutes to go with a rolling clock that will start after the kick. Mercy rule here at West Bloomfield High School. Lakers up 44-0 on Southfield A&T following the pick 6 from Corey Pittman. And now we'll kick the ball back off to the Warriors, and they'll give Rashard Bowens and company another shot on the offensive side. Ward gets ready to get into his kicking motion as the referees whistle the fourth quarter active. There was a stoppage of play between quarters. That's why, despite the mercy rule, no running clock until after the kick. Ward, squib, short. Gonna land the 30, bobbled. It's up for grabs. Who's got the football? West Bloomfield celebrating, and they got the pigskin.
And I mean, just wow. We saw it earlier. They struggled to pick it up after, not even an intentional onside kick, but just a squib. Similar recipe here. They just boot it on the ground, knowing that they're struggling to pick it up, and they come away with the recovery right there.
Elijah White coming up with a football, and now he gets a chance with the hammer to celebrate. That's right, young fella. The junior 5'10" defensive back making plays in the special teams. That's how you earn your cut in West Bloomfield football.
And the Lakers bringing the hammer down on Southfield A&T, showing no mercy whatsoever, sweeping the leg and just, going for it all, trying to put up a 50-piece on Southfield A&T here.
Very good point, Matt Son. Sweeping the leg, a little Karate Kid reference. West Bloomfield Laker football, rolling clock, 11:15 and ticking to go. Lakers up 44 on Southfield A&T on homecoming night. And what a homecoming it has been. West Bloomfield 42-0 in week 1 over Chippewa Valley, and adding to that total at West Bloomfield. First down snap, handoff to Obi Duru. He'll get up to the 25-yard line for a short gainer.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to see a good dose of Duru here to end the game. Not much reason to pass it. You're already getting the ball in plus territory, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers, kind of showcase and utilize the young runners. And my apologies, that wasn't Duru.
That was, in fact, Malcolm Gibson. Primarily, we see him at the linebacker for West Bloomfield. We're seeing a whole lot of Lakers and smiling faces on homecoming night. Second down rush again will go to Malcolm Gibson. This time he gets a few more than just a couple and advances forward.
Yeah, and I mean, just the Lakers continuing to showcase the dominance in the run game tonight. Everyone really just running the ball with an agenda and being physical with the rock.
10 minutes to play in this ball game. Lakers 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Jackson, the senior quarterback, alongside Malcolm Gibson in the backfield. They'll put Duru in motion as a fullback. And they'll hand it off again to Gibson. Up the gut, down to the 11-yard line, reaches forward to the 10.
And I mean, just this Lakers offensive front, just showing any sort of weakness or let up whatsoever. Moving this Southfield A&T defensive front 3 or 4 yards downfield every single carry.
Advancing forward, got to get about 7 more yards for the line to gain. Handoff again. Gibson outside, down to the 7-yard line. We'll set up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and I mean, just a good job by this Lakers defense offense, ensuring that each carry goes for a positive gain and making sure that they do not get tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Got to play tough physical football to win in the OAA Red. The Lakers content to run the football with or without a running clock tonight, getting those younger guys some chances to play some tough physical football.
And it is important because you never know what can happen and who you're going to need making a play with the ball late in the season.
Yeah, in the Red, you got to be able to win it in the trenches. That's the training here for West Bloomfield. With the reach after that play, they do mark him at the 5-yard line. So 1st and goal on the way for West Bloomfield. Duru in that running back.
On the defense, after this, they'll get enough for a first down.
That, in fact, why the ball advanced forward. Updates from the officiating crew. Did not see a flag on the field after that previous play, but appreciate the update now as we have a 1st and goal. Handoff, Duru up the middle, down to the 1-yard line with the reach. They'll probably mark him there at the 2. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those extracurricular penalties, kind of kill drives or extend drives for the Lakers. And so far, Southfield A&T kind of shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly. And that's one thing I know Coach McKenzie will definitely come back to in the next week.
Great sideline shot from our very own Kevin McIntosh shows just how close we are to a 50-piece at the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal for the Lakers. Jackson out of the pistol. Hands it off to Duru, shifts to the right, spins inside, getting the push at the goal line. Is he there? And it's in Southfield's hands. He gripped it and ripped it and pulled it back to the Warriors.
I mean, wow. I thought the ball might have, I mean, this is the one thing of, negative of not being the NFL or college. I assumed the ball crossed the plane right there, but instead here we are, Southfield A&T ball. I mean, just a phenomenal job by Southfield A&T, not quitting until after the whistle.
It looked like it was Chris Smith, the junior defensive tackle, who ripped that football away. You see him in the middle of your screen, the big 5-0 in those white uniforms for Southfield A&T. They stripped the ball away inside the 5-yard line, literally on the doorstep of the goal line. You want to talk about West Bloomfield making defensive plays. Down 44. Really, at this point, you got nothing to fight for but the learning experience. And that, for Southfield A&T, that is toughness 101 for a Super Bowl winning player in Keith McKenzie, now a high school head coach. That's the lesson you show to your young players of how to play football in the OAA. So at their 5-yard line, Southfield A&T will start this drive. Porter back in at the quarterback. Handoff will get 1. They'll push forward for 3. And finally, a scrum of Lakers taking down the ball carry.
Yeah, and to go back to that, we're talking about how Coach McKenzie couldn't be happy with the penalties that they're having today and how that's just, setting them back on offense and defense. That forced fumble right there is something that I'm sure, he'll come back to for the next few weeks as a high point as this team continues to try and get back to where they were last year.
Situational football in play. They put Jeremy Porter back in at the quarterback, their starting quarterback. Their starting running back, Timothy Garr, in the backfield, got the football on that play. Lakers offensive line been fantastic tonight. As you see John Paul, as you see their offensive line coach, J.P. Morris, on the sideline. Second down handoff gets up to the 10 for Southfield A&T. Another short gainer. We'll see that play now. Shifted it outside and back inside through the tackles and a nice little push forward.
And again, even though it's late in the game, 44-0, Lakers defensive front not giving any wiggle room for the Southfield A&T run game.
In the mercy rule, 5.5 and ticking to play in this ball game. West Bloomfield 44, Southfield A&T 0 on homecoming night at West Bloomfield High School. 5 yards to go to the line to gain for the Warriors. On third down with Porter in the shotgun, and to his immediate right, Timothy Garr, his fellow junior. Jet sweep, Taiwan Esper outside to the 15, shifting inside, 20, down to the 23, and a first down for the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Raymond Crawford right there almost come up and blow that play up, but just not able to come away with the tackle. But just you're seeing a lot of good job or signs from this Lakers defensive backups right here that, doesn't necessarily get the reps that you'd like, but showing a lot of, signs that you'd like to maybe, be comfortable seeing action late in the season.
A camera looking toward a camera. It's photoception here at West Bloomfield High School on homecoming night, as you see some of the fans capturing the memories of the occasion, as are we each and every week throughout the football season on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. 4:20 to play in this ball game. West Bloomfield up 44. Southfield A&T a first down at the 23-yard line. Low snap to Porter, bobbled, and he's just going to get stuffed. Back at the 15-yard line, will push himself back up forward a few yards and salvage whatever yardage he can.
Yeah, up until that interception last drive, that might have been why they pulled him. Just the snaps and unable to get things going on offense, and it's just unfortunate.
Took a little awkward hit at the end of that play. He is on the ground and injured for Southfield A&T as their team will come out to support their starting quarterback. And unfortunate situation, but West Bloomfield still a lot to be playing for going forward, and Southfield A&T will attend to their quarterback. And that, in the meantime, we'll take a short break on Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm Greg Flynn, the fire chief here in West Bloomfield. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on your 1 million views on YouTube. Together we share the message of community safety and preparedness, making West Bloomfield a safe and wonderful place to live. My name's Greg Flynn, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Lakers up 44-0 as the senior leaders, Cam Flowers, Elijah Durham on the sideline, and the coaching staff getting this defense ready to continue this drive. Southfield A&T made a couple of quick pushes, got a first down, and after an injury, both these teams will make their way back out on the field. Still talking things over, both teams still taking a knee as the injury is addressed, but nonetheless, look, they're down 44 points, but Southfield A&T has shown some signs of great promise in today's game. They got a young team that's got some upperclassmen that are going to be here for a while. Quarterback Jeremy Porter, their backup quarterback, and Ace Bowens. You saw some promise tonight from Timothy Garr, also Arturo Martin, and so on. This offensive line, relatively young also. A few juniors, a couple of sophomores at key positions like the center, and at the blindside tackle in Adrian Lockhart. So a lot to be proud of for Southfield A&T and a lot of development being made in this tough game tonight. That tough competition, look, doesn't always have to be pretty, but you're going to learn something. You're going to build as young men and football players in these kinds of games. West Bloomfield's seen it in the past. Southfield A&T's seen it in the past as they make their way back up to that championship caliber they had a year ago. We'll continue the action with a rolling clock, 3:40 and ticking to play in the ball game. Esper in motion for Southfield A&T. And a snap to Bowens. Ace outside the pocket to the left side, getting chased, gets hit, escapes, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and +1 for Southfield A&T. Nice stick-to-itiveness from Ace Bowens, the sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, and an even better job. It looked like he stuck the football out there to keep it. To keep it away from the prime hands of Tristan Hunter right there, who looked like he was reaching for the strip sack right there. So impressive to not just keep the ball away, but extend the play and make a positive gain out of it.
Hunter right there in range, and a heads-up play from the sophomore quarterback. Definitely plays above his class at Southfield A&T. They got a great quarterback room there, and that's why you see them play both these quarterbacks, primarily Jeremy Porter, but Bowens is going to get some critical playing time, whether they're up a couple of scores or they're down 44. Timeout called. Southfield A&T wanted to talk things over with a rolling clock at West Bloomfield High School. It will stop because of that timeout with 2 minutes and 32 seconds to play. West Bloomfield 44, Southfield A&T 0. And this is a great lesson for both these teams. For West Bloomfield, we play a full 48 minutes as they have done. Still a couple minutes left to play here to make that truly complete, but they got some big games where they have to play at 100% coming up. Clarkston on the road next week. We'll do our best to be out there for some live coverage for you right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM before they come home for a couple of games against Lake Orion and Oxford.
And those OAA Red games are going to be crucial. And, got to try and take at least 2 of those 3 games that you just mentioned. You want to have a chance at winning the division.
You're going to be 2-2 after tonight, 0-1 in the OAA Red. Clarkston, Lake Orion, Oxford coming up. You get 2 out of the 3 of those, you're 500 in OAA Red division play. Doesn't win you the division, but sets you up very well to qualify for the playoffs and play up to your competition. Third down snap. Bowens got some field in front of him after the defensive pursuit, and we'll get a nice gain.
And narrowly avoided a hit right there, but picks up a nice gain to move the sticks right there. And a lot of promise right here being shown by Coens.
There's a bull rush in the backfield for the defensive line that allows Ace Bowens to get a lot of open field and use that speed of his to advance forward. Another heads-up play for the sophomore quarterback. It'll be a first down with 2 minutes and ticking to play for Southfield A&T. So you see Jay Gardenhire with the hammer on the sideline. Esper gets the sweep out to the left side, advances back inside for a first down and more, up to the Laker 48-yard, up to the Warriors 48-yard line.
Yeah, gonna need another update, but the last update I saw, Rochester Adams leading Clarkston 21-10 after the third. So next week, kind of proving a crucial game to set themselves apart in the OAA Red between Clarkston and West Bloomfield.
Every single week is rivalry week in the OAA Red division. I'm not just saying that to build tension and tell some stories as a play-by-play. I could not be more literal in that. There are no easy games in this division, as it's a handoff for Southfield A&T. Esper again, gonna get into plus territory up to the Laker 43-yard line.
Yeah, and a lot of number twos in for the Lakers right here, but still, not too much going for the Southfield A&T offense, considering the amount of number ones they still have out there. And, stuff you'd like to see from your second unit if you're West Bloomfield.
Taiwan Esper had a big week number 2, 150-plus yards a couple weeks back against Clarkston. That's a tough team to have that kind of game against. And making some plays here as Southfield A&T will take its second of 3 timeouts, wanting to get as much out of this experience as possible. For a young team, you want to play every single snap you can get. Get those reps, build those calluses, get some extra film. With a rolling clock, it can be really tough to do that down 44 against a team like West Bloomfield. But especially now when you're in plus territory, this is a really rock-solid learning experience for Keith McKenzie and his young players out of Southfield in the OAA White.
Yeah.
One more timeout for the Warriors, down 44 in Laker territory with 51 seconds to play.
Second and short for Southfield.
Got less than a yard to go to the line to gain. 2 splits short out to the weak side for Southfield A&T. Bowens, play action, looking left. Pump fakes, loses the football, back to the 50-yard line. They'll lose a ton of yards. They will call that incomplete instead, as Bowens just barely able to get that football out. We'll take a second look at that. The pump fake, second time around, just barely flicked that wrist forward. Questionable. But he flicked that wrist a little bit. He tends to do that when he's throwing the football. That is per his motion, so not a terrible call from the referees. Won't make a difference clock-wise because of the mercy rule. 20 seconds and ticking left to play in this game. Likely the final play for Southfield A&T. They did not take their final timeout. Under 10 seconds. They'll send Brandon West in motion out wide to the left. 4 seconds to play, snap. And that is it. Final whistle of the ball game. West Bloomfield 44, Southfield A&T 0. And it's going to be an impressive victory for West Bloomfield tonight as they're able to defeat Southfield A&T, a rivalry game, and their second shutout in just 4 games, yet to allow a single point at home this season.
Yeah, we've mentioned, how few home games they have this year, making them that much more important and crucial to win. And so far, the defense showing, how important it is to them. 2 pick sixes and 2 home games for Chop Pittman, and no points allowed at all for the Lakers defense in 2 home games.
Yeah, lots of scoring going on for the Lakers. They'll give a quick review of that. It was Devin James just 1 minute and 40 seconds into the ball game tonight with a touchdown rush, followed by a Jamal Shakespeare fumble return for a touchdown on a bobbled punt for Southfield A&T. Then Josh Tate got pay dirt. Jake Ward got his first field goal of the season. A bomb pass to Elijah Durham for 80 yards, and then a short run for Nate Herbert ultimately gave the Lakers a 37-0 lead. And later there was that pick 6 from Chops Pittman that brought us to our final score, 44-0. Behind us here at West Bloomfield High School, you can see both teams shaking hands as a lot of these players grew up together. They've learned the game of football together. They have played in Pee Wee leagues. They've played in developmental leagues and recreational leagues coming up. And so this is a special night for them as well, getting to greet each other after a really nice showing for both of these teams despite the very lopsided final score.
Yeah, kind of pitching in on the homecoming sense of tonight, like you mentioned, a lot of these players growing up together, playing Pee Wee football together, and all the more just intensity added to the game by that. You know, how the games went last season between these two teams and how their seasons are both starting off so far. It was important to get a win here tonight, and the Lakers looked phenomenal doing so.
Yeah, I hope someone's got the pocket knife with them in the locker room, because if you're going to give the game ball out, you can't really give it to one player. You're going to have to take a little bit of each section of the pigskin off of that football and hand it to these defensive linemen for West Bloomfield tonight, because they put so much pressure into the backfield for Jeremy Porter and for Ace Bowens. They got to the ball carrier, and they made some critical plays themselves.
Yeah, I mean, really, this defensive front, you could just give the ball to them in general, just have it, you know, whatever they want to do with it, because they did not allow anything to get going in the run game here tonight, and that was something really important for the Lakers, because we've seen in weeks past them struggle to stop the run, and how that kind of, you know, domino affects them and allows the games to get out of hand.
Jeremiah Benson led the Lakers with 4 sacks on the season in the first 3 weeks. Got another sack and a half tonight for West Bloomfield, still in the lead at 5.5. Josh Bryant assisting him with a half sack on that in the first quarter. Also getting in on the action late in the game, Jaden Allos also with a sack, a huge hit in the third quarter late. And the Lakers making defensive plays at all 3 levels tonight and played a complete game, Matt. And that's something we, even in the first week, in that first blow-up against Chippewa Valley, can't really say that the Lakers have played a full 48 minutes where they were really impressive from the jump until that final whistle. Tonight, undeniably so. This was a complete 48 minutes for the Lakers. And if you're that coaching staff, got to be really happy with the week that they had on the gridiron.
Yeah, and Hilber's mentioned limiting mistakes, and that's one thing that they did not do tonight on offense. They did not commit mistakes, especially at the quarterback position. We saw Bo Jackson arguably have his best game of the season. He didn't miss many throws. The only throw I can really think of that he missed was a strike that, you know, was an impressive throw as he was rolling out against his body. So, you know, the night that they had on offense, very impressive with the lack of mistakes, and hopefully something they can build on going forward.
Yeah, Bo Jackson having a great game tonight. Josh Tate on the ground also, but the Lakers kind of spreading the ball out on the offensive side. You saw Obi Duru get the ball a bunch. Nate Herbert got his first touchdown of the season. Malcolm Gibson getting a lot of touches late in the game as an additional running back now on that depth chart for West Bloomfield. They got so much talent, they're able to spread out all throughout this team on all 3 phases, and it showed tonight against Southfield A&T. The Laker postgame show will continue after a 44-0 victory on homecoming night. You're watching and listening to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
Welcome back to the Laker postgame show on Civic Center TV at 89.3 Lakes FM. 44-0, the final score tonight for the Lakers. One of the key players in that victory, quarterback Bo Jackson, who joins Kevin McIntosh on the sideline at the Swamp. Kevin.
Thanks, Tyler. Just finishing up a game today, 44-0. The West Bloomfield Lakers get the win tonight. Homecoming game against Southfield A&T. I'm here with senior quarterback
Bo Jackson, how's it feel to get that win today?
It feels great, coming off a two-streak loss. Feels great to, all the work in practice to pay off, but it's back to work, 24-hour rule. We got Clarkson next week.
What was the game plan and the strategy in the locker room prior to this game starting?
It was a kind of a question. We didn't know, new team, new coach. It's different from other teams in our league that, we played 90% of the time. But I would just say, it was just clean cut, know what we are, jet, all that stuff, and just do what we do.
How would you rate your team's performance? Even though you got a blowout win tonight, how would you rate your team's performance overall tonight?
I would rate it, I'd say 8.5 out of 10. I think, again, we did what we needed to do. Maybe some minor hiccups here and there, but other than that, it was a clean game.
8.5, and you said some minor hiccups here and there. What are some of those minor things you think you need to pick up on to continue on this for the rest of the season?
Well, me personally, I'll say some of my reads, passes I could have completed, and then just team-wise blocking. I'm blocking on some routes, some running, and then I think defense. They played their hearts out, but some mistakes, I think.
Last but not least, how do you feel like tonight's win at home is going to impact the rest of the season going forward?
It's a huge step, but it's one step, but it's a huge step. That's all I can say.
Walking away with a 44-0 win here at homecoming. West Bloomfield Lakers getting a win tonight. We want to thank Bo Jackson and everybody for showing up tonight. Once again, Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV. Thank you again, Tyler.
Appreciate it, Kevin, as the Lakers come off a 44-0 victory tonight. You hear in the background the last bits of cheers from this crowd on a great night with a full house at West Bloomfield High School, and they got quite the show.
Yeah, really, we've mentioned, again, the first two home games being family fun night and then homecoming here tonight. Two obvious instances where there's going to be a show outside of the football game. But the football team did a good job of putting on a show themselves and really getting some momentum going forward.
Just 4 home games for West Bloomfield this season. They had a shutout week 1, 42-0 on the season opener on family fun night against Chippewa Valley. Homecoming this second game, 44-0, and then Lake Orion's coming in a couple of weeks. And look, I don't know about you, but I don't think that this scoreless streak for these opponents is going to continue when the Dragons come in. But the Lakers got a couple of weeks coming up that really are the biggest test for them on how far they can go. Going up against a team like Clarkston that has been on the cusp of being a contender for the last couple of years and just come up a little bit short against some really tough teams. And then Lake Orion, the defending OAA Red Division champions, a team that beat you in their home stadium last season before ultimately being eliminated in the playoffs just prior to when you were making it to the semifinals. Those are 2 critical games that will tell the Lakers, are you good or are you one of the best in the state this season?
Yeah, you have to hope for them to at least compete in those games, going up against one of the best or 2 of the best teams in the state. But if they ultimately can come away with a win, it'll show the rest of, not just the division, but the state that, we're still here. We're going to be here in November competing for a state title. And that's what you just got to hope to see from the Lakers in the next few weeks.
Those 2 losses the last 2 weeks, that's not the end of your season. It doesn't really tell the full story because Birmingham Groves is arguably having their best season of the last 5 to 10 years. And Rochester Adams, that was such a back and forth game. It really did seem like it was going to come down to who wants it more, who fights for it in those final minutes, and who has the football last. We have plenty more insight on tonight's performance from the Lakers with head coach Zach Hilbers alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin.
Thank you again, Tyler. Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV, right here, still in the swamp, right here with West Bloomfield Lakers varsity head coach Zach Hilbers. Now, a blowout win tonight. How would you overall rate your performance tonight?
Winning's hard. I don't care how it looks at the end of the game or whatnot. What it takes to go into it to get it done, it's always difficult, and we definitely needed a win. So whether it was by 1 point or a lot, I'm just happy that we did what we needed to do to hopefully get back on the right track.
What was the strategy and the game plan going into this game after coming off a 2-game losing skid on the road?
I guess a lot of it was trying to get out of our own way on offense. We would move the ball really well for a couple weeks and just weren't finishing drives. So when we were able to finish drives in the first half, we definitely felt better about things. And, we needed to get some confidence on defense, and I think we did. So, hopefully we can just kind of build on that momentum.
Just talk about the goals going forward. Now that this game is over, short-term memory, we're over it. What's the goals going forward for the next game?
Yeah, we'll enjoy it tonight, but, we start going back into OAA red play with, Clarkston, Lake Orion, and Oxford, and they're never easy. Yeah. And it's certainly not going to be the case this year. It can be 3 really challenging games. So, we proved a week ago we could play toe-to-toe with guys in our division. We just got to make winning plays at the right time to come out on top.
A victory here on the field in the swamp, but still a lot of work to be done right here. From Coach Hilbers, right here in the swamp, West Bloomfield High School, Civic Center TV, I'm Kevin McIntosh.
Appreciate that, Kevin, and really good insight, too, from Coach Hilbers, kind of echoing what we said before we went down to the sideline for that, which was you learned a tough lesson last week against Rochester Adams. This week you learned a much more pleasant lesson that you play hard for 48 minutes. You listen to the game plan. You do what you practice all week long. Some good things are going to happen when you're this talented.
Yeah, when you're as talented as this Lakers team is, as long as you're detailed, disciplined, and just play hard, things should go well. As long as they handle business and, take care of things, they should make the playoffs even with, 2 more losses if that. You don't necessarily need to be the belle of the ball as long as you get into the dance and give yourself a chance to win it all.
A whole bunch of homecoming kings on the field for the Lakers tonight in this 44-0 victory. I want to give a big thank you to our entire crew, Dave Scott and Jared Clark, our producers on the field, our camera operators, Daryl Sanders and Dom Catoni, at Master Control, Jake Schaff and Calvin Brown, and our entire team at Civic Center TV. Alongside Matt Catoni, I'm Tyler Kieft, thanking you for tuning in to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.